Keeping it on the ground here. Plenty of room for Kandra. Corey Kandra breaking a tackle, and he's in for the second Bearcat touchdown of the day.
This is 365 Sports.
Hoover protected. Hoover back to the air, and Williams with a twisting catch.
Our coverage of Big 12 Pro Day at the Star is brought to you by Alan Samuels House of Travel, Alan Samuels Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, Fiat, Waco Regional Tennis and Fitness, Ideal MRI, GXG Elite, Baylor Scott & White, Southwest Sports Medicine, Edward Jones Financial Advisors, Ben Erlinson, Cam Heathcott, and Brad Wilson, North Star Funding Partners, and Batteries Plus.
Sanders downfield, got him in. Horn, atonement, touchdown.
Now here's David Smoak, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoak.
Okay, welcome. We are late by 20-25 minutes, but my goodness, we were about to start the show. We have 8 or 9 recorded interviews with a bunch of great running backs and tight ends from earlier today. And then we get a note that Cordell Stewart and Mason Crosby, former Colorado greats, both in the NFL, they come by because there's a pro golf tournament coming up this weekend up north. And a lot of former football players. We reminisce with them about a lot of things. We're going to have that for you tomorrow. It was wonderful for them to drop by, including, yes, Cordell Stewart and the Hail Mary to Michael Westbrook at Michigan back in the day. So we will have that. We have a lot to get to. Some of the great running backs in the country from the Big 12, including one of our first interviews with Oklahoma State's Ollie Gordon, Devin Neal, DJ Giddens, Taj Brooks, Corey Kandra, and I know I'm missing somebody else.
Yeah, we also had, we'll have interviews in the next couple of days with Jalen Conyers of Texas Tech, Caleb Lohner of Utah, Baylor, and BYU, different sports, obviously. And then also, I'm leaving out a tight end, aren't I?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so those guys. But, yeah, we had 9 interviews in a row today, including Mickey Spagnola, which will be tomorrow. But eight players right in a row. And then we had Slash and Mason there, which was a really great interview that you guys will see tomorrow. And then we've got several guys coming up live here. So
well, let's start off, though, with this one of the great days in sports, if not the best one, the opening day of the NCAA men's basketball tournament. Houston destroyed Southern Illinois, Edwardsville, 78-40. Wisconsin hammered Montana by 19. BYU and VCU have just started. It's a 2-point game midway through the first half. Auburn is separating from Alabama State. Early second half by 18. Purdue beat High Point 75-63, and Clemson is drilling. Will Wade is drilling his alma mater 31-13 McNeese State.
Clemson's
getting
drilled.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You said Clemson is drilling.
Clemson's drilling.
I didn't mention McNeese State. Drilling Clemson at halftime, 31-13. Will Wade's alma mater going down right now badly.
Yeah. You hate to see it.
I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's pretty cool.
No, I think McNeese State's the kind of team that gives us a juice.
I said that sarcastically as a person who hates Clemson.
Well,
but yeah, it's crazy, and he's about to go into that league.
Yeah,
he's going to that league.
With NC State, that's a done deal. Nothing new on what is the future. All sorts of speculation, of course, with Rodney Terry. Texas beaten last night. They blew a big lead. Xavier was like a boa constrictor and just started squeezing them slowly but surely. They get and win the play-in game to get into the next part of the weekend. So there's a lot going on. That's part of what is happening today in the world of sports. There was a couple other stories. Let me see here.
Well, I mean, Texas getting beat was interesting last night. Nice lead there, as you mentioned, and just saw it whittle away. And Rodney Terry, based on the couple of UT guys I've come across, feel like he's out of there. I mean, they indicated as much. They said as much prior to the tournament. And so I've seen a couple guys, I don't know if it was Chip Brown, I think maybe one of them, that was saying, like, basically the expectation is for him to be gone now because that was the expectation going is if they didn't make a deep run, well, they lost the play-in game. So that would qualify as not making a deep run, and I don't know what they would do. Obviously, they're going to open up their billfold and see what that can lure in like they always do. But, yeah, interesting to see Texas get beat in that SEC narrative, take a knock like the opening night, basically, you know. So
and not even really a first-round game. That's a play-in game where they lose, right? Exactly.
But they were so dominant, and we've heard so much about that. And look, if Alabama and Auburn go play for, the national title, or Florida wins the national title, and then none of that will matter. But for people that love the narratives and love to poke at those immediate time that something happens, you had a chance to do that last night with the SEC in Texas.
And Creighton, 2 teams out of Omaha, of course, University of Nebraska, Omaha will be playing against Kentucky, but Creighton beat Louisville 89-75. The Blue Jays, they're one of those teams that you just feel like they're going to be fine when they get in the tournament. That wasn't supposed to be easy, and they led that game pretty much from start to finish.
Banner start for the ACC.
Yeah.
Clemson getting whooped right now by McNeese State, and Louisville already knocked out. So, we'll see. Houston moving on for the Big 12 already. Not going to make it all about conferences, but for the early narratives, I think the 2 that I've seen already was, the big Texas upset. The Texas loss, not like it was a big upset or anything. And then, the ACC just off to a bit of a stinker.
Yep. Greatest college basketball conference in the history of the game.
What was?
It's 0-1.
Not 2025.
Auburn's going to win.
Yeah.
They're going to win. So we've got a lot to get to. Thank you for being patient. Garrett Ross and Emery Winter, Faith Lynch, they have been unbelievable with what we've been able to compile and produce today. We'll get some of that back to you. And we'll have some players drop by as the wide receivers and quarterbacks have wrapped up. In fact, here we go. Wide receivers and quarterbacks have wrapped up.
We got DB here.
There we go.
Defensive backs
Shiloh.
up first.
Yeah. Oh, look.
Yep. Here we go.
Hey, Paul Catalina, nice to meet you.
How you doing, sir? Good to see you.
Hey, man. Craig, nice to meet you.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
You got it right there. We're live in Frisco at the Cowboys headquarters and the Star, where yesterday a bunch of pro days, of course, going on, and now the second day of pro days, and they just wrapped up with defensive backs, receivers, and more. Shiloh Sanders joins us on 365 Sports. Good to see you. We were at Media Days in Vegas. You were right there, and we couldn't get to you. But, man, it's great to see you. What's this been like today?
Just out here supporting my guys today. I'm gearing up to showcase all my talents on April 4th. So I just came out here to support everybody today. We got some Buffaloes that's, trying to get some looks today, trying to put themselves out there today. So I'm just here to support.
What's it been like on this ride now as your college career ends with your dad, with your brother, like the kind of the family business, I guess, here of Jackson State, of Colorado, of all that, like everything you guys went through? What's like as it culminates for you personally? What are your emotions like?
This is something we've been doing our whole lives, and there's not really that much emotions because it's something we've been doing our whole lives. Like when I was younger, probably starting from 6 years old all the way up to youth football, then going into middle school, and then going into high school. And then I went to South Carolina. So it was supposed to end in high school. Yeah. It was supposed to end all those different times. But then it was supposed to end in high school. Here we go again in college at Jackson State, then here. So now it's supposed to end again. So if it's going to actually end, all right, that's cool. But,
you never know,
it's
right?
It's a pattern.
Yeah.
You always want to leave things better than you found them. I think you've done that with Colorado. How much better off do you think you leave Colorado than when you guys first arrived?
We just changed it almost all the way around. There were some games last year. I definitely feel like we was good enough as a team to win, but that just helps, put us at a place to improve for next year, and then that's the lowest bar we can go. What we just did 9-4 last season, so that's good to go off of, in the future for the team.
What is the biggest misnomer about Dion, your father, about the coach that he is, the person that he is? What are some things that people just are clueless about?
Like things in particular?
We just had Cordell Stewart drop by. He's here. And I thought that a lot of people may think what Dion was and who he was as a personality, and he still has that aura. But I love listening to talk about fundamentals and discipline and things like that. I don't think everyone really thought they were going to hear much of that. And I love listening to that stuff from him.
Some people just like to hate just because,
Yep.
you know, and sometimes it rubs off on me and Shador. So, you know, people are going to think one way, whether it's facts or fiction, it don't matter. They just going to think a certain way about you.
I have two questions for you. One, where are you in the power rankings right now?
I'm number one, son.
You're number one right now? Okay. And okay. And number two, I saw a video of you and him working out last week, and you doubting his 40 time because you'd never seen video of it. Has anybody been able to provide you any kind of, even a still photograph of evidence yet?
Not yet. I haven't seen it.
Borrowed shoes. It's a legendary story.
I haven't seen no proof of it. But the funny thing is, he was talking about him running the 4.2. He was like, man, I run the 4.2 for breakfast, son. Like, you don't understand. I just wake up and run the 4.2. I don't have to stretch nothing. And I asked him, I was like, where was you training at? Like, what was your training like? Because, you know, I'm trying to, you know, run a really fast time pro day. So I was trying to get all the tips I could. I was like, how was your training? What did you work on? He was like, son, I ain't trained nothing. I woke up.
And he's chewing on a breakfast bar or something.
Does Picasso prepare his paint?
We ran that audio.
I'm like, yes, he does get his paint ready how he wants it. But basically, someone commented on the YouTube channel, my YouTube channel, they said, you know your dad ran track, right?
Yeah, there you go.
So that's what he was doing. That was his speed trainer, was running track. But, I mentioned that to him last week.
That was a great back and forth.
So he didn't technically just wake up and run. Like, he had some speed training too. So he forgot to say that. He was on the track team, and he was really good at that too.
You didn't get to play in the Baylor game last year, but I had to get your perspective on just watching that unfold. We're based in Waco and in Texas, so we were watching that a little bit closer than probably most people. Just the emotions of that, the craziness that, the crowd that night. Can you kind of just describe, from your perspective, the nuttiness of that game earlier in the year?
Yeah, we don't really like when games are even that close.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
So, but that was some great, you know, outcomes that we had, but we don't even like it being that close, honestly.
Do you realize what the last 2 years have meant to Colorado? Can you feel that? Like, for former players, we mentioned Cordell Stewart and Mason Crosby. We've had other guests on the show. What you've done for that school, and I know it's just not you, but that you've given them like this surge of adrenaline and pride. You realize that?
Yeah, from one side, but, you know, what we get a lot of is just negativity. Even though you can accomplish whatever, it don't matter. It's still going to be this and that. Just moving the goalposts. That's what we see a lot of. So probably in a few years, people will look back and be like, man, this is a great, you know, period of time we had with them. But right now, it's not like that. So
No. I think if people also see, because you and your brother and Travis, like, you guys all, like, kind of naturally have fun, and you have fun personalities. And they think that you guys aren't, like, grinding, but it is great. Like, I've seen some of, like, the behind the scenes of what you guys are doing working out. Like, it's, like, that's what you have to do to keep from going crazy, right, with all the workouts and the way that you've been doing.
Like, I don't have a camera with me every day, but I'd say the past 8 weeks, probably a week after the Shrine Bowl, the Shrine Bowl game, I took a week to get my body back. Then every single day since then, I've been training for this pro day. No days off, every day. Haven't traveled nowhere, nothing.
Like a fine.
In Colorado,
Yep.
at the facility, Coach Swayze,
Every day.
Coach Corey, Justin Mayer's in there with me too, but we just in there grinding every day. It's not sunshine and cupcakes every day. You know what I'm saying? We got to actually work for this stuff, especially now.
So what are you working more towards when it comes to your pro day? What are you looking to prove when the time comes, or what do you feel like you want to show to NFL scouts?
Just all around. I'm an all-around guy. You know, I just want them to come out and watch. That's it.
Is there too much put on the 40 time?
Not really. It's a lot of technique that goes into the 40 rather than just like raw speed. Because usually at free safety, I could take a few shuffles back and kind of like build up to my full speed to make a tackle, you know what I'm saying, or to meet the running back at an angle. But in this 40, you're not building up. You got to go. You know, you got to go drive, and then you could, you know, raise up. But it's a lot of technique that goes into it. So all of these drills is all technique-based. So for the first, 4 weeks of training, we're just working on different techniques, and that makes your times go down so much.
Even the start, like down on the crouch and all that stuff.
Yeah,
huh?
like you would be surprised how much it's just about the little small start, like details like the starts and how much time that takes up. Because you might think the difference between 4.3 and 4.6 is like crazy. You gonna call a 4.6 guy slow, but in reality, that's like 1 foot.
Shiloh Sanders, Colorado, with us on 365 Sports.
Your dad and I have the same hometown. We're both from North Fort Myers, Florida. Obviously, we're both guys.
Y'all grew up together?
No, we did not. He's a little older than me. I went to Bishop Rowe. He went to North Fort Myers High School. Obviously, we both went to Florida State, different times. But I'm fast. He's fast.
Is
You're
North
fast.
Fort Myers hood? Is that a hood school?
I mean, no. I mean, yeah, you know.
Oh, you went to a private?
I went to private school. I went to private school. Like, nah, I mean, like, no,
I always
mean,
try to get info on him.
You want to like info? Like, here's the thing. He went to high school with Mike Greenwell, who played left field for the Red Sox. Was a great player. Javon Kearse was the star after him at North. No, it's not. It's not. It's
You
just.
say, dog, back in my day, dog. Back in my day, he always give me back in my day stories. So I had to see if his school was really.
Yeah, like it's. You know, like it's eclectic.
That's pretty damn good. Greenwell, Kearse, who's a great pass rusher, and Dion. That's special.
No, nobody knew about your dad either, really, when he was coming out. That kind of hit him. That's the legend around the city was he was so good, and there was a FSU alum that lived out there and was like, hey, told Coach Bowden, and then it kind of hit him. They didn't want him to do it. And ask him about this, if this is true. When the Coach Bowden came to see him and recruit him, he's playing at a basketball game, and he cut his forehead on the rim.
I never heard of that.
Yeah, I want to know if that's
told
true.
Me that.
Oh, he would have told you? Yeah, that's what the guy told me.
That's
Again,
a toughness story.
There's a lot of course, growing up, like, he's the most famous athlete that's ever come out of there and will be. And so there's a lot of legend around him. So I'm wondering, like, how people were like, oh, yeah, because he did all these great things. But I'm just curious as to legends he told you.
Everything you hear is just he just tells us. So it's just everything but the 40. Like I hear stories like they could have easily filmed that basketball game where he cut his forehead on the rim. There's
no evidence.
Like back in the 80s, it's on the reel now. You got to find.
Yeah, he'll tell him now. He'll say he hit it on the top of the backboard, his forehead. Yeah, it won't be the bottom of it.
Yeah, they got proof of Jesus. I just need proof. I just need proof of Coach Prime's 40. Just one little proof. That's it.
Oh, my God.
Shiloh, what'd you think about the transition to the Big 12, man? Did anything stand out to you in terms of atmospheres or just maybe some of the guys you played against from this past season?
We really enjoyed it because it's just new competition. It's just like moving to a new city, moving to a new house. It's just new environment. So just playing all these new teams with different logos. We used to play NCAA growing up.
Right.
Just being able to actually go to these places and see different places was nice.
How about being in NCAA? I mean, I don't know how many guys probably thought when their college career started a few years ago, as yours did, that would be maybe a possibility. But was that a big deal to you or to the team when that dropped last summer?
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
That's definitely cool. But, what would be even cooler?
Madden?
Getting Madden.
Yeah.
There you go. I'm trying to get that Madden right now.
And having that ranking. So your brother's the one with the camera, right?
My older brother.
Your older brother.
Yeah.
Does anyone ever turn the camera on him?
I do.
Okay.
So whenever I usually film videos, I make sure whoever's filming me reverse the roles and put it on him sometimes, so he can make me some money.
Hey, you guys, it's been a fun story. We've loved watching it. We've loved following it. And it's amazing, the family and what you've done. And good luck. April 4th?
Yes.
At the Pro Day in Boulder?
Colorado.
Yeah. Good luck with that. And it's great having you on the show. We do appreciate you very much.
Appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Shiloh Sanders, Colorado. NFL next. This is on 365 Sports.
This is 365 Sports.
You spent hours selecting your patio sofa. Choosing that grill would have taken weeks. Probably your car needed way more time. For sure, you would have spent months mulling over that pool of yours. Protecting your prized possessions needs no time, though. Just visit coversandall.com, create a custom size per your requirements, pick a fabric, and personalize your cover. And leave the rest to us. Premium protection for all that you love.
All right, we're back in Frisco. It's Big 12 Pro Days, and I think perhaps as tough a guy that I watched play football in college, West Virginia's Garrett Greene, who's going to play defensive back. That's what you're looking at. I'm sorry, wide receiver.
Yeah.
Well, you could play middle linebacker as far as I'm concerned. Is tough as nails. What was the thought process? Is that your best chance? Did somebody tell you that would be your best opportunity?
Yeah, no, I think just talking with my agent, with his talks with teams, he thought it would be, the best way for me to make an impact on an NFL roster was playing receiver. And kind of like growing up, that's what my background was in. I really didn't start playing quarterback until my sophomore year of high school, about halfway through that season. So really, like growing up, I was running back and receiver. So it's kind of second nature. There's obviously a lot more nuances and stuff that, I'm learning as I go.
Did you, was that situation where you moved to quarterback, was it, well, we've got one of the better athletes on the team here, let's just make sure we give him the ball a little bit to move it around, and then it turned into something? Did you even expect to be a quarterback after that season was over?
Yeah, so that was always my dream was, especially growing up in the South, everyone wants to be the starting quarterback and all that, and then actually it was the inverse. Was I was a good athlete, and that's why they put me at receiver and running back and stuff, in youth ball. But then in high school, they needed someone to be able to run the ball more at quarterback. And, the guy that was playing in front of me, he couldn't really run. In our high school offense, the quarterback ran a lot. So they put me in there, and the rest is kind of history.
How do you feel like today went for you? I mean, what were you kind of looking to accomplish and show for everybody?
Yeah, no, I think I was just definitely, looking forward to kind of getting out there and, showing guys that I can run routes and I can, it's easy catching the ball. And, also like my 40, I haven't gotten the official time, but I felt good. It felt like I was rolling. So I feel pretty good about today.
You threw it to wide receivers. Now you're the one catching it from quarterbacks. Does that give you an advantage because you know a little bit about that part of it on the other end?
Yeah, I think it definitely gives me, a little bit of advantage just with how route concepts work, knowing the progressions, and then also pre-snap, knowing, because standing back there at quarterback, you kind of have to see the full picture. And I think having my background in playing quarterback, for 4 or 5 years in college, I can kind of see the full picture at receiver now and not just see, the man that's in front of me.
You went to Childs High School in Tallahassee. Yep. I just got to ask you, as an FSU grad, how did we not get you?
Well, I think there was, when I was really getting recruited, it was Willie Taggart. He was the head coach.
Say no more.
And I kind of got recruited, and then, Coach Norvell, he got the job, I think it was 17 days before signing day.
Oh, really?
And at that point, I was already committed to West Virginia. But yeah, no, he was hard on me, recruiting me, for those, last 2 weeks before signing day.
How have you kind of processed last year, the way the season went, the way obviously the program went as far as a different direction, playing for Neil Brown, and then just kind of watching all the change that's occurred since then? Have you sort of wrapped your head around all that? Yeah,
I think yes and no. Obviously, I was up there, this last week just kind of getting in some last prep work, and, things are a lot different around the building. But, I have faith in our athletic director, Ren Baker. I have faith in Rich Rod and, all the guys that are there that, they're going to succeed. Last year didn't go as we planned. There was just few things here and there that, if I do better, some games turn out different. But I'm confident in the way the program's heading.
Did you know Rich Rod at all? Or did you get to meet him when you were back there?
Yeah. I met him a couple times because they're kind of doing spring ball right now, so he's super busy. But passing by, we had some conversations. And it's good to see it. Kind of all my younger teammates. They look happy, and the team looks good.
We had Wyatt Milam on yesterday, and of course he's a bad dude. Tremendous offensive lineman. How much the mentality of what he brought to the table and having him blocking for you?
It was awesome. Having him as the left tackle. I never really had to worry about my blind side. Even when we opened up against Penn State and Abdul Carter was lining up on top of him, like he did a great job with him. And I think the thing that gets talked about is how he is in the run game. And he's a vicious guy. Like he wants bodies on the floor in the run game, and it's awesome to run behind, and it's also awesome to hand the ball off and watch the running backs just hit the hole as he clears it.
Is it weird as a quarterback to, like, because everybody else, like, you get sacked and you get hit. Sometimes because you're a running quarterback, it's your fault because you drew it out too much. But if you just get, blown through, you're going to go back and say, like, hey, who missed their protection? But you never, for 2 years, you never had to do that with Wyatt. That is wild.
Yeah, no, I think really what he does best is he sees the full game. So, like, if they're in, like, an odd front and he has the edge, and he made all the calls to push it, where I really got spoiled because I had Zach Frazier at center last year and he handled all the protections, and Wyatt Milam this year he was kind of directing traffic over there, so it was awesome.
What was your favorite part about being a West Virginia Mountaineer?
I think just getting the opportunity to play for the full state. I think that's something that's very unique and very special to West Virginia. Is there's no professional teams, there's no other Power 5 teams, and I think that's something that's really special because, for better or for worse, the whole state is really like cares about football and they care about how we do.
Yeah, they've been stung here lately with the basketball coach leaving the way that happened and getting left out of the tournament.
I don't know. I don't know how I don't know how they get left out of the tournament.
Not a lot of people do, and then have a guy leave immediately. That just that almost seemed predetermined.
Yeah, I mean, I don't.
Yeah, I know, but
I'm not in that world. But I mean, something seems up. But I'm confident that they'll get another great coach.
How often did you finish a game where you weren't like completely just beaten up, bruised, bumps, cuts, whatever?
A lot when I was younger because I didn't play.
Stayed healthy.
That's very honest of you.
But as I started playing, not really, just because the ability to have a running quarterback is you get extra hats in the run game, and I think it's a lot easier to block 5 with 7 and not 6. So I think that we did that a lot this year as an offense. So I took a pretty good beating.
Nico, highly recruited guy, came in behind you. Kind of a unique situation. A lot of times a guy like Nico would say, you know what, we're not that far apart. Like, he's the starter. I'm going to go. But he stuck it out, and he's there now. How well are they set up with him going in, especially with the new system? Somebody who, even though it's different, has been there, has the confidence of his teammates and all that.
Yeah, I think Nico's, first of all, he's one of my best friends, but also – watching his growth and development over these last, 2-3 years, really the man that he's become, how much more serious he's taken, film preparation, body preparation, and all that stuff now compared to when he was a freshman. So I have all the faith in the world that he's going to be successful there this year.
Have you watched Taysom Hill at all much?
Yeah.
Do you feel like, I don't know the speeds or whatever, but is there a way that a player like that opens the door up for a player like you?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think one of the main differences me and Taysom Hill is he's like 6'4".
Yeah,
he's a big guy.
I don't know what you're talking about here. I don't see height.
Yeah.
I don't see height.
But yeah, no, I definitely think that he's kind of in some ways paved the way to kind of have a Swiss Army knife back there, where he can do a ton of things. Like I saw Taysom Hill lining up at fullback, and so I mean he can do a lot of that stuff, and so I think it opens up some doors for me.
Garrett Greene, West Virginia, and wide receiver. What are your expectations the next few weeks? What else just besides being seen and answering questions?
Yeah, no, I definitely think just continuing to work at receiver, and if teams want to come in and work me out, I'm more than willing to. That's my job now is to run routes. So, I feel confident in all and just ready for the process to continue.
What is the difference between running a route and knowing how a route's supposed to be run? Because you know how they're all supposed to be run. You know where you want the ball, like where the quarterback's going to want the ball. That's an advantage. Yeah. But actually doing it, what's the difference?
I think actually running the route.
Yeah.
Because it's really tough to be running full speed, stop on a dime, and come back to the quarterback. Mm-hmm. So I think just through reps of, running those routes and getting the timing down, will be big.
Man, it was good to see you.
Yes,
we love the way
you.
You played, your style, toughness, and that. Sometimes you hear that. No, you're also very athletic and had some great wins along the way. Thanks for your time. Good luck with that transition and also the next month.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Garrett Greene, West Virginia, with us on 365 Sports.
Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Pizza, burgers, and Bears football. There's no place around Waco that serves them all other than Bubba's 33. Come show your green and gold and enjoy some of Waco's best food and beverages while watching your favorite team, the Bears. When real Bears fans get hungry, Bubba's 33 is the #1 spot for ice-cold drinks, hand-stretched, stone-baked pizzas, and bacon-infused burgers. Join us for indoor or patio dining. Bubba's 33, Waco's restaurant and proud supporter of Baylor Bears football. Sick 'em, Bears.
Don Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. Don Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
Ready to take your business to the next level? Carrion Solutions has got you covered. We deliver world-class IT consulting, including Quest On Demand and Migration Manager, M365 and Exchange migrations, Active Directory assessments, security hardening, and Windows Server upgrades. Our experts specialize in consulting, monitoring, support, and managed IT services. We promise vision, professionalism, and unbeatable value. Satisfaction guaranteed. If you're not happy, we make it right. Remember the name Carrion Solutions. For more info, email sales@carrionsolutions.com or visit carrionsolutions.com. That's CARRION solutions.com. Carrion Solutions IT success guaranteed.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. And that's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. So if you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at idealmri.com or call 833-IDEAL-MRI.
This is 365 Sports. Text us at 254-339-1122. The text line is sponsored by Riverbend Liquor and Wine, with the most extensive variety of craft beer in Waco. A hidden gem on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street.
Alan Bowman, Oklahoma State quarterback, with us on 365 Sports. As the quarterbacks have done, there were many of you.
No, there was not.
They brought in Deckers from Iowa State and obviously Hoover from TCU just to get some throws in. So there weren't a lot around. Shador didn't make it down here, but what was it like today?
It was good. I think you have 39 receivers and there's one of 4 quarterbacks throwing the ball. I was talking earlier, it's like, if you make a bad throw or something happens not perfect, it gives you an opportunity to come back and prove, hey, you know what, I can make that throw. So in a way, when I kind of found out that there wasn't going to be a lot of quarterbacks, it was more of a okay, good, versus the other way around where there's 15 quarterbacks and 2 receivers and you get one throw, and if you don't make it, then you're kind of out of luck.
You were in college for a long time. A long time. I mean, you have a medical degree now, right? Medical law, MBA.
Doctorate. No. If I had to stay at one place for 7 years, maybe. But no, I got 3 degrees out of it. So hey.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yes,
That's
sir.
awesome.
Yeah.
So you as you went through all this process, you're kind of experienced all the different waves of college football in your career. What now, as you step on the next thing, like you've learned to kind of how to be a professional, whatever, whether it's a quarterback or businessman, just kind of through this process, haven't you?
Yeah, crazy. But my freshman year was 2018. I was kind of talking with some scouts today. It's like I'm in the same class as Justin Field and Trevor Lawrence, and they're going into year 5 in the NFL. So it's just kind of completely different, and everyone's got their own path, right? My path happened to have little injuries earlier in the career, and then kind of went to the backup role at Michigan, and then kind of flourished at Oklahoma State. So, coming out as a freshman, transferring wasn't a thing. You didn't transfer. Coach Cliff Kingsbury got fired, and everyone's like, "Are you going to leave? Are you going to leave?" And I never even heard of that. So I've been through the transfer portal, and then COVID hit, and then NIL, and now revenue sharing. I'm on the back end of that. So kind of walking through the whole process in 7 years was just crazy. You got to have to adapt and move and kind of see where everything's going and figuring out on the fly.
Does it feel like almost playing 2 different sports over that time period?
Yeah, oh my gosh. From what it was freshman year in 2018 to what it is now, I mean, it's completely different. It's a complete business. And I think in a way it should be. It should have been. Obviously, these schools are making millions and millions of dollars off of us. But, it's tough because everyone is their own business now. Everyone's got to look out for themselves instead of looking out for their schools.
You must love football.
Oh, yeah.
Because you kept playing, despite all the setbacks or whatever, but you just kept on playing. And there's always good, why does it – you must just love the game. How much do you love football?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I love the guys. I love the camaraderie. And the thing and why it sticks me through it is I believe I can still play at an extremely high level, right? I think some things have happened with injuries early at Texas Tech, and then obviously being behind a top 10 pick, J.J. McCarthy at Michigan. Well, I didn't know it, but at Michigan, that's one of the best experiences that I got. I saw 2 Big Ten championship teams look like. I saw number 2, probably 10 top 10 picks being around, an NFL-style offense, an NFL head coach. So those little things where when I was in the moment, I was kind of upset I wasn't playing, but it helped me, prepared me a lot for Oklahoma State and for beyond because I was there.
You missed out obviously on the national championship year.
Oh my God, how about that? I wouldn't regret it though. Obviously, I would have played. Having a national championship would have been cool.
Season.
We won 10 games. We had a great time. So I wouldn't. But everybody asked me that. I was like, what if you stayed one more year?
Yeah. But you've got an interesting coaching tree with Cliff, obviously with Harbaugh, and then with Mike Gundy. How does that serve you in? Now, when they're going to start quizzing you on things, look, Kingsbury's in the NFL now, so that's kind of a bonus. Harbaugh's in the NFL now, of hey, what's this, what's that, because you've been in different systems.
Yeah, I think 7 years of college football, 5 offensive coordinators. So being able to play at a high level, you got to understand and be able to process extremely fast. So obviously, Coach Kingsbury is an unbelievable mind in throwing the football and finding space and creating space and making plays easy for the quarterback. And then Coach Harbaugh is going to put pressure on you in the run game and fronts, checking calls, having 2 or 3 plays in at once. I thought that was blasphemy. Had no idea that even existed. So a guy like Patrick Mahomes coming out, taking him a year under Alex Smith, it made total sense because not to say that I'm at the same level, but to come from Texas Tech to a Michigan, I had 2 left feet. So completely understood that, hey, there is a process coming in from these different things. So each stop that I've had has definitely prepared me.
How did Mike Gundy best prepare you?
I would say he's probably the most professional head coach that there is, right? He's more of an eye in the sky, more of a CEO, and I think he just prepares because he's a motivator and as one, but then he's going to shoot you straight, as you all know. He's going to say what's on his mind, and so, hey, you know what, we need you to play a little bit better, or hey, this is how I feel, how we're going into this week, this is what we need to do. And so I think the bluntness of Coach Gundy actually really helps because you'd rather have that than have somebody kind of feel, make you feel good and say, hey, everything's going good, you're doing great, and then saying one thing behind in meetings to his coaches. So Gundy, you can just say, you know what you're going to get, and he's going to tell you what he thinks.
When I watched you play, it seemed like if you got into, like anybody, you got into a rhythm or a groove, and you could just throw it around and compile yards, tons of them. But the touchdowns to interception ratio is something that's on your stat sheet.
For sure.
Why is that?
I would say, the first part of your question, definitely getting in a rhythm is for sure. I think starting early in games that we would talk with coordinators and saying, hey, let's get some easy stuff out of the way. And then that's just kind of with any quarterback. When you get in a rhythm, it's obviously you're going to play a little bit better. But some of those, interceptions, I feel confident, like, hey, I can make that. And I feel like you got to have a so what next play mentality. And I was like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna go down swinging, and I know that I'm gonna throw it, and I'm gonna throw it again, and I'm gonna throw it again because I believe I can make it. Now, obviously, you got to know certain situations, and then some are just kind of 50-50 balls that you kind of guys. Unfortunate. You're going to get those unfortunate. The guy slips. The guy falls down.
Deflection.
It gets tipped.
Yeah.
Something like that. But no, it's definitely being able to. It was funny. I came into Oklahoma State from Michigan in the first 15 practices of spring ball. I didn't throw one interception. I was like, I'm going to take care of the football from Michigan. And then you just get the bug. I don't know. You just get the bug. I don't try. You know what I mean? But I mean, it just something that kind of happens. But I mean, I know that's something that I got to work on and to be conservative. But it's kind of going back to what it is, Coach Harbaugh. 2nd and 10 is okay. 3rd and 6 is okay.
Punting's okay.
Punting, end every drive with a kick, you know what I mean? So definitely that's obviously watching the film from the past couple of years, that's definitely something we're working on.
That's I've never heard it put that way, end every drive with a kick.
Yes.
Yeah, that's good. But it's hard because you want to. You watch guys like Jameis Winston can throw 50 touchdowns and 50 interceptions because you believe in yourself. You know, I can make this throw. The thing is the thing you can't control is that guy watching you.
And unfortunately in 2024, we found ourselves behind in a lot of games. So we lost 9 in a row at the end. So obviously you're not going to have the season that you want, and you're not going to have the stats and numbers that you want when you lose 9 games in a row, and that's on everybody, including myself. But when you find yourself down and everybody knows you're going to have to throw the football to come back, that's when you're going to get a couple more interceptions than you'd like, because, hey, we're down 21 points. We got to throw it every single play, and they know that, and so do I.
Yeah.
Did any part of you see the struggles of this year coming? I mean, coming off of last year and just all of the hype that came along with that.
Yeah, not at all, right? Win 10 games. We have 21 returning starters. Everyone's a senior. All 5 up front. Ollie and I coming back. All receivers coming back. I think there was a little bit. I don't even want to say complacency was right. I just think a little bit of mishaps. You lose Colin Oliver game 3. You lose Nick Martin game 4. Yeah. And so then defense is kind of struggling to figuring out who they are, who can they lean on, and it didn't help that the offense wasn't clicking at all either. So, I mean, I just think it was an accumulation of a lot of things. You don't lose 9 games in a row for one person or one play. I just think, we couldn't right the ship, and a big turning point in the season was that BYU game. Friday night, we go up. We go on like a 16-play drive. We go up by 4 with 1:16 left. They go down and score. We lose. And, I mean, after that, it was just tough to kind of come back from.
That was brutal.
My gosh.
I mean, it was for me watching, so I can only imagine.
Yeah, I sat down, and everyone was, so happy when we had that drive. And I just had a feeling. I was like, I don't know if it's over yet. Yeah. But.
So Miami had a tight end that played 9 years.
Yeah, how about that? Huh?
And, of course, you came during what is almost a vortex, what we brought up earlier, college athletics with COVID and all that, and it just seemed like careers are too long. You've experienced it. It's great. You love the game. Mm-hmm. How long is too long?
Yeah, I would say 7 years is what I would say, because coming into those last summer workouts, my 7th summer and 7th fall camp and 6th spring ball, it's hard not to be like, geez, you know what I mean? I'm ready for something else. I mean, this is the last time I give it everything that I have. I know it's my last run, but I don't think it's tough, because on one thing is you're given 4 years, and what you do in those 4 years is what you should get. Maybe a 5th year with a red shirt. But I'm so blessed, and I'm on the other spectrum of it where, hey, I've had 2 collapsed lungs, broken collarbone, sprained ankle, COVID, and all 3 seasons were cut short, plus a COVID year. Didn't really get a chance in Michigan to pan out. So if I didn't have that, then I wouldn't be sitting here.
Right.
I'd be at a job in Dallas. So in a way, you appreciate that, but at some point 9 is kind of crazy. 7, I don't know. At some point, I mean, at quarterback, because the reason I extended so long is because I got injured so early. Freshman, sophomore, junior year, my first 3 years I was injured. So it wasn't like I was injured year 6 to get year 7 and injured year 7 to get year 8. Yeah. It was kind of like backlogging. Oh, hey, I feel good. I wasn't injured. I just got another one. Let's see if I can stack onto it. So I don't know if anyone's going to have that opportunity again. But I just think, play as long as you can, squeeze every ounce out of it.
Okay, so NFL obviously the goal, professional football the goal now. But because of these degrees you have, you kind of have maybe a wide open career path.
Right,
have you thought about that after, or is it just football right now?
Yeah, football right now, completely focused on football. I did a little bit of a real estate commercial intern at Michigan over the summer and really enjoyed that. We bought a property in Stillwater. We moved in. My fiance, we get married in 3 weeks. So
congrats,
to throw that in the middle of all this process. Yeah. So everything's, and bought a house. So just a lot of things going on.
Are you here in Dallas? Or
here in Dallas. Yeah. So obviously grew up in Grapevine, around the area. But yeah, no, just crazy. Obviously, giving everything we can to the game right now, and then we'll see what we do after that. There's a lot of avenues we can go in.
Is there any part of you that was like, what, a 4th degree would be really awesome?
No, you see, and I'm not gonna talk down on this degree, but the degree I got from Oklahoma State, you guys are gonna love, and it's a great program. But it's basically a graduate certificate in Parks and Recreation and Leisurely Management. So I got a degree in Parks and Rec.
Yes, very nice.
But hey, you know what? If I can be a park ranger, I can run any summer camp you need me to run. So there's a lot of ways I can go into. But that program and Dr. L there is awesome. Just quick shout out to the Recreation and Leisurely Studies program at Oklahoma State.
So are you a Parks and Rec the show fan?
I've seen a couple episodes. I'm not all the way into it, but I've seen a couple episodes.
I'm curious, if we ever get to talk to you again, if you watch it, I'm curious as to which character you will identify with on that show.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
All right. So, man, what a run. And we have an Oklahoma State fan, Wet Blanket. That's the name of his on the chat room. Will you say hello to him? He's a passionate Oklahoma State. Wet Blanket. That's his screen name. His name may be Richard Smith. I don't know.
Well, Wet Blanket, hey, I know it was a tough year last year, but I think Coach Gundy's going to get those boys right this year, and thank you for supporting. And it's loyal and true for a reason. Loyal and true is Oklahoma State's motto, and so you stay loyal and true, and thank you for being a good fan.
I don't want to leave out Barry Crawford, who sent us, for our studio, he sent us a paddle. On our set, we have a paddle.
That's awesome.
Hey, did those things sting your ears when you played it? Did you ever play it?
I played twice from Tech. Yeah, I played it in Boone Pickens Stadium twice at Texas Tech. And, yeah, it's definitely – I wouldn't say it's like an ear piercing, but it's kind of like it's just like what is that? Like,
and then it just keeps going.
Yeah.
Like it's like a noise in your house you can't turn off, and you're walking around.
Correct. You know it's happening. You know it's there, but it's just like – yeah, but it's great when you're on the other side. I loved it. Those paddle people are awesome.
Night and day.
Yes.
Hey, good luck. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you guys so much for having me on.
Alan Bowman, Oklahoma State and Michigan, Texas Tech with us. We're live in Frisco. It's Big 12 Pro Days, and Gerry Bohanon is going to join us in just a moment. And he's a veteran. He's been at 3 schools: Baylor, USF,
is he right there
and
behind you? Where is he? No, that's
BYU.
like That's Emory.
I think he's on. Well, we'll break here. We'll come back with Gerry Bohanon of BYU. He's next. This is 365 Sports.
Alan Samuels House of Travel is a full-service travel agency with highly experienced travel consultants plus support staff with over a combined 150 years in the travel business. They are ready to take care of any travel situation for you, your family, and your business, and with the kind of knowledge to complete a seamless itinerary trip start to finish. They will search for the best deal to accommodate your budget from air to cars, ship to shore, hotel, and even meeting space. Name a destination and they've been there. They know the places to go, and international and missionary travel is one of their unique specialties. Alan Samuels House of Travel, celebrating 50 years in business. Call Connie, Sherry, Linda, or Bambi at 254-776-2560 or find them on Facebook or at houseoftravelwaco.com. Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics, the team physicians for Baylor Athletics, diagnosing and treating all sports-related injuries, including concussions. These specialists also provide orthopedic services for athletes and non-athletes alike, whether it's knee or shoulder pain, a wrist injury, orthopedic spine care, and even an arthritis and total joint clinic. Trust the doctors Baylor Athletics trust. Baylor Scott & White Southwest Sports Medicine and Orthopedics wants to get you back in the game.
With so many companies and policies out there, it gets so confusing shopping for insurance, and I never know if I'm getting the policy that's right for me. Luckily, I met the team at the Niche Group Insurance Agency. With the Niche Group, you can go to one company and get access to coverage options from many insurance carriers, and you get to speak to a real person about your specific coverage needs. With the Niche Group, I know I'm getting the right coverage at the right price. If you need insurance, talk to the experts at the Niche Group at 1-800-258-8302.
Established in 2007 and independently owned, Alliance Bank Central Texas is committed to helping families and businesses meet their financial goals. From their tellers to their board of directors, they know the importance of superior service and competitive products. Customers have confidence knowing that their financial needs are in good hands. It's your bank, Alliance Bank Central Texas, with 2 Waco locations, 4721 Bosque Boulevard and 191 Archway Drive on Highway 84, and at AllianceBankTexas.com. Member FDIC and equal housing lender.
Want to send a message to the show? Jump in the Rudy's Country Store and Barbecue chat room.
Well, what a great way to start the day. And so much of what we've compiled you'll see maybe the next hour and obviously tomorrow and into the early part of next week. Let's do an update on the NCAA tournament. And McNeese State continues to roll along. Oh, we got to stop that. There's a price change for ESPN Plus. Great. That hasn't happened. 51-36, McNeese State up with 6 minutes to go. Purdue won earlier. Wisconsin won earlier. BYU has gone on a run to lead by 11 at halftime against VCU. Auburn wins by 20 against Alabama State. Houston destroyed Southern Illinois, Edwardsville, big time in their game. And Gonzaga, 35-16 lead, 6 minutes to go first half against Georgia and Creighton earlier with a nice win to open up the tournament as they beat Louisville, 89-76.
McNeese, by the way, is in a bit of a scoring drought here. So,
well, thank God behind. Clemson was for the entire first half. Yeah. Otherwise, they had 13 points at halftime. So, it's been fun. So you have a couple of those double-digit seeds that are going to get in. Great run for Alabama State. Remember the money they earned with that win earlier a couple of days ago. And then getting beaten, as everyone expected, but still, they kind of gave Auburn a little bit of a headache.
A lot of times, like there'll be a 16 seed or two that, like, you know, not the ones that have, of course, been upset. You know, Auburn experienced that themselves, whereas a 15-2 last year, but a 16 of the 16 ones, like you'll see them, like they have that head of steam, right, from before. But again, a team like Auburn just, you know, has 3 more players they can put out there than Alabama State does. So eventually, they just get you. You know, Janai Broome, double-double today. Not good at the free throw line, but still a double-double. I believe, I want this, if I were a coach, that if your free throw percentage is under 75%, for me, you're shooting underhand until it gets above it.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
No, the points.
Shaq would have scored 10,000 more points had he done that.
Well, it's points.
Yeah, it's a point. It counts. Hey, by the way, a note from Jeff Goodman, who does the Field of 68, a basketball note. Will Wade's taking the job. One of the leading candidates that appears to replace him at McNeese State is Bill Armstrong, who's on the staff. He was at Link Academy when Jacoby Walter was there, and he seems to be targeted. Craig brought that up earlier. And Flagg, Duke, says he's full go at practice on Wednesday, expects to be 100% before they play on Friday.
All right, well, color me. I mean, I told, like, I wasn't saying that they were lying. I was just saying that when they brought that out, they had no impetus to tell the absolute truth, right? Like, when you asked them, hey, is your best player going to play? He looked like he was hurt. Why would they say no if there's no other way to prove it, if it's could hurt your seed?
Yeah, like, it changed overnight. Or
you could. Because, again, if the committee is going to change your seed, you know, instead of, like, being a 1 seed, you're going to be a 2 seed, why would you tell them, like, oh, no, he's hurt bad. We don't know if we're going to see him. But if you could lie a little bit and say we don't know or we expect him to play, like you would do that, there's no rule that says that they have to tell you the truth about it right now in college sports.
Yeah, I thought
they did. I mean, obviously
they were a number 1 seed even without him. But you're right. It could have affected it. We'll see. Wet Blanket, you're welcome. Thanks, Smokey. F the SEC from Alan Train. Kim Coulter's playing a round of golf and kind of keeping up with our show. He's on the course with a friend and said 4, please, as he's probably hit one into the desert somewhere. Alan, I want Georgia to win. Hold your breath on that Zag game, then Pepsi. So there we are with a lot of the feedback today on the chat room.
We're bringing back an old friend here.
Yep, absolutely. What a great smile. Golly, it's good to see you. Great to see you.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gerry Bohanon, BYU quarterback, obviously got to know him, made that great run on Baylor's championship team that won and beat Ole Miss in the Sugar Bowl. Then it was USF. Great to see you. Great to see you, man. Great. We had Kalani Sitake on. He's been on a lot. He could not rave enough about what you meant to them, even though Retzlaff had a great year of what you meant to that team. But that's who you've always been, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's just the way I was raised, the man I want to show up and be every single day.
What's this process like for you now, showing the scouts what you can do? What have they told you about, like, you know, what you need to work on or what you can try to do new things?
Honestly, it was spent the ball really well today. We want to reach out and kind of see what we can figure something out. So just to honestly hear that coming from my situation and what I've been through, that was why I came. I just wanted to hear that. I just want the opportunity.
Gary, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you good.
How would you describe the last 4 or 5 years? I mean, just the moving around, the ups, the downs, the championships, the losses. I mean, everything in between. I mean, what would young Gerry see and old Gerry now, and vice versa?
For me, I would say the number one thing I can compare it to that I look at it as a sunrise. I was ups, I was down, it was bright, it was dark. I had moments where I felt like maybe this wasn't for me. I had moments where I didn't know if I'd be able to throw the ball again. I had moments where I ended up having to move my son and transfer and just so many different things and so much uncertainty. So for me, I would just say a sunrise, something that old Gerry, I know I learned a lot during the situation, but I know I would get frustrated a lot. Gerry right now would say thank you because it made me who I am today. It's helping carry me over in life. Like, I feel like there's no situation that I can't handle now. Like, I feel like I'm good mentally. I feel like I'm Thor. Seriously, because like everything I've been thrown, I've dealt with, I've handled it, and I've handled it with a smile. That's hard to do. And so for me, I've never wavered. I never changed my ways. I was never mean to anybody. I was never talking negative about anybody. That's not who I am. I know what I've been through my last 4 or 5 years. I stayed the same me. Actually, I got better and became a better me. So for me, that's the number one thing for me.
I think that's what people will always respect about you. But obviously there was football success too, and how you handled. What was the conversation like? Because we haven't talked to you since the Sugar Bowl championship team. What was that conversation like when Baylor needed to make a decision at quarterback? And in the end, they were trying to help you as well by allowing you to leave, but God, that had to be difficult.
It was difficult. It was a difficult situation, difficult conversation, but kind of just felt it was the best to kind of part ways from both sides. It was kind of probably that time, I guess. I mean, of course, we both disagreed on some things, which I don't really like to talk too much about, but I don't know. I would have preferred to stay there and finish my years there, but I mean, I guess we saw things differently.
The USF situation was kind of unfortunate for you because you pretty much got hurt like right when you started there. Like, I mean, hey, I'm in Tampa, boom, hurt, and so like you couldn't even really hit the ground running there.
And the crazy thing about the USF time, I just got into a groove.
Yeah.
You know how sometimes you go to a new place, you get with a new team. I just got there in May. I go through summer, fall camp. First 2 games are rough. The next 2.5 games, I'm in a groove. Like 5 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns. I'm in the second quarter of Tulane, 2 or 3 touchdowns. It's like I finally found that groove that I needed to be in. So it's like for me, just as soon as I found it,
and that was a good offense for you. You really kind of, it looked like it was, because you could do all your skills. Golish is a really interesting like coach and all that. But again, and then you have to fight back again. But like you said, you built you some armor on it, didn't you?
I had to. Yeah. I had to, and that's one thing for me. I'm always take pride in this is not just some soft guy that haven't experienced a lot in life. Like, I've experienced a lot and I've handled it well, and I wear that with pride. And I just hope someday that anybody that look at me, anybody that asks about me or hear anything about me, that never changes. Like, that guy showed up to be the same guy every day, and regardless of the football player he was a great person.
What was it like to end up at BYU? You got the logo on your chest there. We love Kalani Sitake. He's been on the show a lot of times, and he's just a great dude. But how would you describe that latest chapter in your life and just the experiences out in Provo and the crazy fan base and obviously a very successful season as well?
Very successful season, the craziest fan base. I tell anybody. That place, one night when we played Utah, we got back probably about 3 in the morning. It is 3,000 kids at the facility.
Oh, wow.
3,000 kids at the facility. Like, we can't even drive and get to our cars. They like rocking the bus. I'm like, this is college football. Like, I haven't been in Tampa. I didn't even really get to experience that because we weren't having that much success. But
and you're in an NFL stadium too. It's different.
It's so different. Like, it's you have so many professional teams. It's so different.
Yeah.
And so being able to get in that experience and just being at BYU, like I've build relationships I feel like I have for the rest of my life. I was able to learn from Coach Catalina. I was able to learn from everybody there. So for me, it was a really good experience. I was able to get healthy. For me, I don't know if I would have got healthy if I didn't go there. They took every step and helped me every step along the way just to get me to be like, okay, Gary, do you feel well? And people don't know like how hard it is to come back from a labrum tear as a thrower. And for me, they did. They supported me throughout all of that, supported me and gave me the opportunity to even transfer and play. So for me, it was just a great experience. Outside of football, I had a great experience there. Picked up new habits. I was able to network. I still talk to my mentor that I had there to this day. So for me, it was a great experience.
Where did that come from, your leadership skills, your ability to be resilient, to weather the storm, so to speak, and still come out, not that it didn't hurt sometimes, but smiling and keep your head up?
Seeing my mom and dad do it. Never hear them complain. Mom wake up 4 in the morning, go to work, get us ready, take us to school, do it with 3 kids, still working, come home at 7, 8 o'clock, still got to feed us, still got to get us ready for bed, still have to do all this, and never ever be like, I don't think I can do this. Never heard it. My dad started 2 businesses, worked a job. I don't know if I can do this. I never heard it. Never heard it. So for me, just growing up, even from when I started playing sports as a kid, like if I missed free throws in the game, my mama would make me come home and run laps down the street and everything.
Really? Yeah.
She would make me shoot 100 layups that night. My dad, like, I remember games in high school, I could have 7 touchdowns. I could throw 2 incompletions, 1 interception. I never heard about none of the touchdowns. It was always the interception or the missed pass. So for me, it's that mindset of you always going to deal with adversity. How can you be better? So for me, every day, how can I be better? How can I be better? At whatever that is, if I'm being a dad at the moment, sitting here talking to you, how can I be better right now? So that's my approach to everything that I experience and everything that I do.
I want to go back to the Sugar Bowl, which was an amazing night. Like, rolling in, like Ole Miss, they're right down the street, right? So they had tons of fans. And I mean, obviously, the Baylor turnout was great too. But you guys physically dominated them. What did that feel like to be able to stare down a team like that and then just you broke them physically?
I think if you were able to see practice from fall camp throughout the season, I don't know if everybody remembered that our practices were very intense, very competitive. You didn't know, you couldn't even tell who was going to be the dominant side, like watching practice, because defense can win today, offense can win, defense. So it's like we wanted, all of us as leaders, as a team, practice was harder than the games. We wanted to be that way. That was the way we took it every single day. So we come in and practice this hard. Saturday going to be easy. And that was the approach we all wanted. We all, the best of the best. My shoulder hurt. Nope, we practicing. The receiver's tired. Taekwon's tired. We practicing. Terrell and PG banged up. Apu, whatever. We are practicing. And it was like that mentality. We all built an arm around ourselves, but we built an arm around each other. So it was like, once you got that out there on the field, there's nothing you can do about that. You got 11 guys on each side of the ball together. You can't do anything about that.
So you came in 2018. They were obviously in very much a transition, had some obvious issues with the program. Matt Rule comes in, tries to turn it around, and you guys do eventually in 2021 win the Big 12 championship. Just what was that like to be a part of where you started to unfortunately where it finished, but I mean, where does that rank amongst just your accomplishments and being a part of something like that?
It's very, very high because I had SEC offers, Georgia, Ole Miss, Miss. I had everybody. It was about going somewhere where it mattered. It was bigger than just going to be a number on a team. It was about going to a place where I could go there and matter. Like I was not just a number. I was able to go there and make impact on the community, the team, whatever. It was about that transition that I wanted to experience, and I didn't want to just go somewhere and be like, I could have went to Georgia. I could have went to Bama. I could have did all that, but I wanted to go somewhere, a culture that's stuck. I want to go somewhere where I could be a part of a culture that lasted forever. That team, everybody will remember that team. And you can look at us and remember the record. That was the closest team that I'd been a part of. And just if you could just be around us, we did everything together. So that was, we talk now. Like, we still talk. We still have those relationships. So, like, for me, that's what it was about. It wasn't just going somewhere where, let me just go here and get a degree. No, let me go here and build some relationships along while I get this degree. Let's win some games while I get this degree. Let me become a better man as I get this degree. So it was about all of those things, and that was the place that checked every box for me.
Never forget when you committed out of Arkansas, when you were in high school at Arkansas, talked to your coach, and it was like you were in an area that didn't have a lot of attention, but people knew you. I remember digging into where you were and the school you went to, and it was so cool to watch you grow up from that point on.
Early?
Earl.
That's Earl. Yeah, I was thinking
Earl,
of the E on the end, though.
Yeah, very small, and that was the thing for me. I mean, I could have transferred. I had every big school in Arkansas I could have went to. Every big school in Tennessee I could have went to. I didn't want it to be that way. I want to be in Earl. There are many, many kids from that little area that are on Division I teams, Division II teams right now. Before I was coming out, I was the one hoping that I could be the one to do that and get coaches to come there. I have coaches that have coached me before. They text me when they're in Earl, Arkansas, passing through there. Like, yeah, I'm recruiting a school right now.
Wow.
And for me, that's bigger, and that means more to me than my whole collegiate career, because it's like somebody behind me got an opportunity to go.
You opened the door.
To college. And that was my reason for staying there.
Maybe we should go here. Like, maybe coaches go, hey, it can't just be one guy. Let's go look, right?
Now they go look.
Yeah, now they go look. Yeah, exactly.
They go look. So for me, that was important. I didn't want to go to a school and just be a guy there. I want to be the one that made a huge change in the community that would stick for years. That's the way I wanted to do it.
You had 4 very different head coaches over your time. That's got to be kind of wild, because Matt Rule, we know him really well. I mean, he's a culture builder, a program builder. He's a little more intense than maybe Dave Aranda, who's Yoda, who's Zen, and calm. And then you had Alex Golish, who's like kind of a little bombastic, I think, but really brilliant football mind. And then Kalani Sitake, who, again, like, the first bad thing I hear about him will be the first bad thing whatever. Like, everybody loves that guy.
And also I had Jeff Scott, too, before
that's right.
Golish got to So 5.
Yeah, 5.
But
yeah.
I was able to learn from each and every one of them. They all were great leaders in their own way. They were great coaches in their own ways. So it's like, for me to have that, it may seem like that must be a lot, but I would say it taught me a lot. They all challenged me differently. They challenged the teams differently. And, like, seeing all of them as fathers, as men, as sons of God. So just being able to see that helped shape me and help me reflect on myself each and every day.
So you mentioned Terrell Bernard, Jalen Petrie a little bit earlier. TB just got paid last week. Yeah, man.
Just got paid.
Yeah, he did. Jalen's obviously had a really nice career, man. What's it like to see those guys? And I was going against those guys in practice every day. And
you can't do nothing but be happy for them.
Yeah.
Those guys grinded, deserved it, started off being guys that didn't even play. And now they're NFL stars. Like, if Petrie didn't get hurt this year, Petrie would have been in the same situation. Xavier Newman is continuous.
Yeah.
He's sticking around.
Yeah, he is.
Taquan Thornton, like a lot of guys, like even guys like Jermichael Hasty and Blake, like when I first came to college, like those guys, that brand, that goes to show you what type of team we had, what type of coaches we had as leaders. All those guys are going there and last.
Yeah.
Don't have to be the fastest, don't have to be the biggest, don't have to be, but they are who they are. And that we created that.
The 2016-17 team, when they were 1-11, Rule kept talking about the process. And, of course, some people were like, stop. And turning players into pros, whether it was football or not. But they were going to turn them to learn how to be a pro. He did it. No one believed him.
Literally.
I mean, apparently the players did. But a lot of people were like, you're 1-11. You're, what was it next year, 7-6. But you made he did it.
Texas Bowl, That was the thing. And that's what I tell people. People ask about those guys. I'm like, they were pros before starters. They've always been pros. And so that's the number one thing. Like, that process was real. And if you can be a pro each and every day of your life, like, you're going to be – that's who you are.
Your story sounds a lot to me like Petrie's a little bit, and that you wanted to go a place and make a difference. Petrie was the only guy committed in the class when Rule got the job. And we kind of thought, like,
why?
Why? Like, dude, just go. Like, nobody's going to think less of you for it. And you asked Jalen, he's like, no, I wanted to go to school at Baylor. It wasn't about – I wanted to be here. That's where I wanted to be. And he's one of the all-time greats there.
Exactly.
But it was finding – and that's hard. Like, that's hard to do than find fast guys, right? Is finding guys who want to be somewhere.
And that's the thing. Petrie is bigger than football.
Yeah.
He's bigger than him. He's a selfless guy, humble. What he wants, he's a guy that's going to commit to everything to help make it better. You believe in him. Once we make that commitment, we had a team full of guys to make a commitment, and we were going to do whatever to uplift it. So that was the thing.
So as far as the right now goes, how do you feel about just everything today, and then just moving forward? Kind of what's on your docket and things that you're just looking to, wait on or accomplish here the next few weeks?
Just to continue, go home, spend some time with my son. Think about my son.
What's that? I mean, I wanted to ask you about just being a dad, and I mean, because you mentioned it earlier. I mean, you're smiling right now, even thinking about it. But
yeah. I mean, it's nothing short of amazing. It's a blessing. It's everything. I mean, I had him young at Baylor, trying to figure out life, but knowing that I had him throughout all that, and no matter, I had a lot of dark times. I had an injury. I didn't know if I was gonna play. My son showed up smiling for me every day.
Yeah.
When you say his name, when you say son, you don't have to say his name. I start smiling because that joy, that kept me going. When I didn't think I had nothing left in the tank, it kept me going. So for me, go home, see that smile, and kind of enjoy it, because right now, lately, these last couple months, I've been in the grind just to get in a position to come here and compete. And it's like, now it's just a waiting game. I mean, I talked to a couple scouts, and they said I threw it well, so hoping somebody reach out after the draft. And for me, just spend time, continue to get better, continue to train, continue to polish myself, and spend time with my son, enjoy those moments.
I tell you what, I hope you get to play at the next level. But whether you do or not, you're a CEO of being a great human being.
Thank you.
And you really are, and you always have been that way. That's the way we've always thought about you, whether we had ever seen. It's great to see you again.
Great to see
Loved covering you at Baylor, and obviously proud of you, what you've done at BYU and everything else in between. We appreciate your time.
Thank you. Thank y'all for having me on. Good
Gerry
luck to you guys.
Bohanon, BYU quarterback, with us in Frisco at Big 12 Pro Days.
Automatic Chef is your local vending, office coffee, and micro market provider, delivering outstanding service to break rooms all over Central Texas for over 50 years. Automatic Chef brings the best products to your location at the best prices. With hundreds of choices in fresh food, coffee, snacks, and drinks, let Automatic Chef tailor a break room solution to your needs. Make break time great again with Automatic Chef. Automatic Chef Canteen, 6900 Imperial Drive in Waco, or online at automaticchef.com.
Baylor alumni are more than 160,000 strong. When we all join hands to support our university, we don't just move the needle, we move mountains. Working together, we create life-changing opportunities for students on the field, in the classroom, in the laboratory, and in life for generations to come. So get connected, get involved. Learn how at baylor.edu/alumni.
There are 26 letters in the alphabet, over 600,000 words in the dictionary, and just 3 of them said together can change everything. Let's order pizza. Those 3 words lead to dough made from scratch and 3 fresh signature cheeses that blanket golden crust in a heavenly melt on Marco's Pizza that'll blow your mind. So visit marcos.com to order and stop by Marco's Pizza in Belmead, China Spring, Woodway, and in Robinson. Marco's. Pizza lovers get it.
Petty Clinic Men's Healthcare in Woodway is now proud to offer you men an exceptional weight management body sculpting product called semaglutide, also known as Ozempic or Wegovy. Semaglutide is an FDA-approved weight management medication. Once-a-week injections of this powerful medication offers an average body fat weight loss of 20% within the first year of treatment. In addition to body sculpting, semaglutide also normalizes blood sugars and has the clinical research proof of reducing blood pressure, cholesterol, stroke, and heart attack risk. If you're like most men and you have stubborn fat that will just not respond to typical diets and exercise, then help is finally here. Semaglutide, affordable, highly effective. Google search Petty Clinic Waco and reach out to the Petty Clinic team today for a free consultation with Dr. Petty to see if semaglutide is right for you. Go to pettycliniclowt.com.
This is 365 Sports. Enjoying the show? Hit the like button and subscribe.
Oklahoma State running back Ollie Gordon with us at Pro Days in Frisco. Big 12 put this on, and man, I had somebody, when you had that spectacular breakout year, someone said that when you hit the line of scrimmage, you're at full blast, like 2 or 3 steps into it. Is that something you had to learn, or is that just God-given instinct and ability?
I would honestly just say God-given instinct. I would take it as, whenever you catch somebody at the line, you want to go through them. You don't want anybody to go through you. So that's really what it is.
Doak Walker Award, Earl Campbell, Tyler Rose Award. These guys are involved in that committee. Then you got unanimous All-American, Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year. Obviously, this year did not go well for you. Do you feel that, it didn't go well for the team as Oklahoma State, but for you, you were still Ollie Gordon. Do you feel like that maybe some people are sleeping on you a bit more than they would have a year ago? Because, nothing changed with you, brother.
Honestly, yeah, like you said, I feel like they are just because, I didn't go another 1,700, yards the next year. But I feel like if it was flipped and I went 800 the year before and then 700, then people would have been like, or 1,700, and they would have been like, okay, those are 2 good years back to back. But since it's vice versa, I guess it just doesn't look as good, I'm guessing. But I would feel like, I stayed the same. And, like you said, it just wasn't a great year for us as a team. And, I wouldn't trade my team for the world. I still love my guys, regardless of the outcome of it.
You still had a lot more touchdowns than most people. You still had a lot more than, it's such a weird, knock. If it's not even a knock. But, you just had such a huge year. So what do you think, when you look back at this final year at Oklahoma State, how will you look back on it and just the way things went?
I would just say teams had a better way of game planning for us in 24 instead of 23. 23, they couldn't really game plan because we were still kind of a new team. We had a different quarterback. Well, obviously from our teams, we had the same quarterback, but from 23, it was a different quarterback that they haven't seen. They had us, our running back, our receivers, and, you really didn't know who you were going to get. But, that next year, you definitely knew who was coming.
You played at Trinity.
I did, yes, sir.
And I love high school football. Know the history of that program. The running back. What game? Was there a game when you had 400 yards? Was it South Lake Carroll? Allen? Who was it?
It was Allen.
What was that?
I had to feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, just especially because of what their record was for those past couple of years. They hadn't really lost a game. So I would just say beating them, it felt good. And I would just say everybody that played Allen was scared to play them. And I would just say that wasn't us.
They have 7,000 students, and they're not quite as good now, but you guys kind of let everyone realize, hey, they put their pants on like we do.
Yeah, true. We did.
But Trinity's got an incredible, the unbelievable tradition.
Yeah, you always got those big poly O linemen, big poly D linemen, great fullbacks, and some good receivers. So it's hard to beat that.
You're one of the few guys who could go to Oklahoma State, and then your offensive line might be a little bit smaller. Then everybody else is well, these guys are big, and you're like, yeah. They're the same for me. Can you still do the haka? And do you ever just get the urge to do it?
Sometimes, I feel like I can still do it.
Okay.
And do I ever get the urge? Yeah, it's kind of hard not to.
Yeah. Look, you score your first touchdown in the NFL, throw a haka out there.
I just might have to. Or a little chihu, one of those.
Yeah. So, Ollie, what did you want to show today? What was this event all about for you?
Really just that, my hands were sure, that I could for sure catch the ball and that I can get my feet up and out the ground and control my direction, stuff like that. Great change of direction. I feel like that was needed, especially with the season we just had.
Yeah. What's this process been like for you? Is what you dreamed of as a kid? Is it, more or less than expected in some ways? How would you describe it?
I would definitely say more. I didn't know we had to go to the doctor during the combine. And I didn't know it was a week long. I thought they'd just go out for a couple of days. Yeah. But I didn't know we were there for a week. We had to be at the doctor. Thankfully, I wasn't one of the people at the doctor that long. But I didn't know we had to do all the blood work.
They will find out if you had a broken finger in 3rd grade.
Yeah, I know.
No, they will. So you kind of some things they told you that you didn't even realize, or you're pretty clean?
I was clean. I was pretty cleing.
I would be weird if they'd be like, hey, tell me about tonsillitis. You're like, I was 8.
It's normal. Yeah.
I didn't have to get hit with that one. Thankful for that one.
We had Robert Griffin III on about a month ago, and he was talking about the combine with the 40, and he said that a lot of players are so worn out with everything you have to do even before you get to the 40 with the interviews and all that you sometimes are not full throttle for that particular 1 or 2 times you run. Is that the way it was?
Kinda. Yeah, I would just say I feel like, the whole combine thing is coaches and teams really just want to see how much you can really take and not give up, and that's what I feel like it is. I feel like they might pay attention to a couple 40 time here and there, but I feel like they just want to see how you react to everything.
Is it almost as if they're testing you of what you can take also with questions they ask you too?
Right, yes, sir. I feel like that's exactly what it is.
Like mind games?
Yeah, yeah.
Did you get asked any weird questions that came out of nowhere?
No, not really. Nah.
Yeah, sometimes you hear those like weird questions that they ask, but I think those are maybe kind of getting filtered out because now, like, there used to be no internet, so you could ask somebody a question that wasn't weird.
Right.
And then now, like, somebody's like, hey, they asked me this really weird question that didn't have anything to do with anything, and now they're like, yeah, I better not answer that.
Yeah, I didn't get any of that. Made me, like, think about it. I was like, I didn't really catch any of those.
Go ahead, Craig.
So, looking back on your time at Oklahoma State, what do you hold most fondly? What will you remember? Not that you won't be back and things like that, but just kind of what will stick with you moving forward as being a Poke, being a Cowboy.
I would just say, all my interactions with Coach Gundy and, how he made us build a brotherhood. And, I wouldn't trade none of them for the world. I love them. And, I'm going to miss them. I mean, some of them are here, actually.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially my boy BP, my boy Shad, and then all our defensive players, Corey, KT. All
Corey Black's here.
Yeah.
Waco native.
Yep.
You mentioned BP, Brennan Presley. He's a guy who I think is really going to be slept on. He can take over games.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, like this year against Baylor, he had like 13 catches or something ridiculous.
I mean, he had a negative screen caught for like -5 yards and took it all the way to the house. So.
Yeah, and maybe just because of the way that the season went, I think like he too like suffered a little bit. But like if you turn on the film of him, throw the ball, he's going to catch it anywhere he's going to go. He can help somebody, can he?
I would just say that there's not too many people that I would love to turn their film on and just sit there and watch from their first play in college to their last play. But Brennan Presley is one of those players I would do that for.
Tougher than absolute nails too.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever, during the season, because the things did not go well, win-loss record and other things as well, did you ever feel criticism? Did that ever bother you? Did that even get to you?
I mean, everybody going to talk mess, even when you're doing good, when you're not doing good. It's just really about the person you are and how you handle it. And I just feel like, most people talk mess because they can't do what we do. Mm-hmm. So, of course, they're going to talk.
How much do you think Mike Gundy's motivated to get this thing back on track?
Oh, I know they're going through it right now. I know all season's been hell for them, but hey, I mean that's what comes with it, And Gundy's not one of those that's going to lay down and let it happen again, for sure.
So you had a bunch of big performances in your career. I mean, last year you went on this tear where it was just 150, I think, like every week basically. But that stretch you had with West Virginia and Cincinnati in particular, West Virginia had nearly 300 yards and 4 touchdowns, and then the following week is 200 plus and 2 touchdowns. Just did you feel like nobody could tackle you? I mean, basically, what does that feel like when you're just running through defenses like that?
Honestly, it's the best feeling ever, especially when you just out there running and you just know, like, nobody's going to take me down right here. And it's really just, like I said, doing it for my teammates. Like Coach Gundy, he made us build a bond with each other, and I just feel like that really paid off. Every week or every day of practice, he'll tell us, go talk to 2 people that you don't know and find something new about them,
That's cool.
I imagine that serves you well in real life, too.
Yeah, it does. It helps you whenever you meet somebody new or somebody you don't know and you're able to talk and communicate with them, then it's easier to make friends like that.
He is we heard this from Colin Oliver and Nick Martin both yesterday, is that the Gundy that we see, I mean, he's like doesn't seem like a Care Bear at all. Like he's a little, prickly and defensive, but that's not how he is with you guys at all, right?
Nah, total opposite guy. What y'all see is a whole different guy than what we get. We get like the more dad side of it. He'll get on us if he needs to.
Oh, I'm sure, yeah.
But we get the caring dad side of it.
Do you think you can get him to change the hairstyle?
Nah.
Like could you even like more rock and roll?
No, I think it's cool how it look. You got the little flow, the wind hit it, it'll flow. It's cool.
Okay.
You feel me?
What was the best advice? This is kind of a rant, but what was the best advice he ever gave you?
I would just say, Coach Gundy always told us, treat people the way you would want to be treated, and you never know what other people are going through. So I feel like that's huge, And another thing, he just said, whatever you do, if you do something wrong, you got to take it like a man. You can't blame it on nobody else. You got to own up to it and put it behind you and go about it.
And you had to do that. You had to go through that. You had to just own it, and move on. The sooner you do it, the sooner it goes. It's always there, but it's going to go away.
Right.
But he didn't hide you from it either.
No,
he didn't hide you from it. He didn't it was right before media day. He didn't hide you from it. And then he backed it. He's very famous for backing players up. I'm a man. I'm 40.
Yeah.
But it looks weird to people who aren't in it. But for you guys, knowing that all right, I know that he's gonna get after me because I did something wrong, but also he's gonna stand up for me because he cares about what comes next.
True, yeah. Through that whole situation, I never, doubted Coach Gundy. I knew he would have my back, and I knew I was gonna get a stern talk from him. So, I didn't really, I never, like I said, I never doubted him. I knew he'd be by my side the whole way.
Was it one of those things like when I was a kid, if I did something wrong, I was always, my mom's going to spank me or she's going to backhand me or you wait till your father gets home, but you just did not want to have that conversation with your father because you never wanted to disappoint him?
Right. Yeah, that's really, it was really more of a him texting. I texted him, but it was kind of I just wanted to go ahead and tell him rather than him finding out from the media. And
sure.
It's you didn't want, you didn't want to talk to me. So I was like, nah, I'm just going to let him know. Especially with the bond we have with Coach Gundy. He always tells us we can come talk to him about anything.
Good.
Football related or not. So.
Well, you got about a month between now and when the draft is, a little bit more than that. Then, good Lord, just enjoy it, soak it in. I hope you're doing that.
Yes, sir. You got to.
Ollie Gordon, award-winning running back, Oklahoma State, 365 Sports.
Let Camille Johnson Realtors guide you seamlessly through the process of buying your dream home or selling your current one. Commercial, farm and ranch, or residential, Camille Johnson Realtors can smoothly and successfully lead you through any transaction. With a team of 28 experienced agents who are excited about serving you, Camille Johnson Realtors services the entire greater Waco area. If you're in the market to buy or sell, contact Camille Johnson Realtors, 104 Midway Center in Woodway, or find them online at www.camillejohnson.com. Camille Johnson Realtors, elegant, charming, warm. Welcome home.
Pizza, burgers, and Bears football. There's no place around Waco that serves them all other than Bubba's 33. Come show your green and gold and enjoy some of Waco's best food and beverages while watching your favorite team, the Bears. When real Bears fans get hungry, Bubba's 33 is the #1 spot for ice-cold drinks, hand-stretched, stone-baked pizzas, and bacon-infused burgers. Join us for indoor or patio dining. Bubba's 33, Waco's restaurant and proud supporter of Baylor Bears football. Sick 'em, Bears.
Don's Humidor, your home with a 48-foot walk-in humidor with the elite cigar brands from around the world, including the #1 cigar of the year, Aging Room Cuatro Nicaragua. Plus, they have the great brands like Macanudo and Artur Fuente, Rocky Patel, Aston, and so much more. CBD, great for sore muscles, aches and pains, sleep, Vita Dreams, and anxiety, mild depression, general health and wellness. Their staff very knowledgeable on the subject. Don's Humidor in the Townwest Shopping Center off Valley Mills in Waco.
Ready to take your business to the next level? Carrion Solutions has got you covered. We deliver world-class IT consulting, including Quest On Demand and Migration Manager, M365 and Exchange migrations, Active Directory assessments, security hardening, and Windows Server upgrades. Our experts specialize in consulting, monitoring, support, and managed IT services. We promise vision, professionalism, and unbeatable value. Satisfaction guaranteed. If you're not happy, we make it right. Remember the name Carrion Solutions. For more info, email sales@carrionsolutions.com or visit carrionsolutions.com. That's CARRION solutions.com. Carrion Solutions IT success guaranteed.
At Ideal MRI, we feel blessed to be part of the Waco community. We're a small family business here in Central Texas. At times like this, the cost of healthcare has never been more important. And unfortunately, significant illnesses and injuries still occur. And that's why Ideal MRI is open and here to serve you through this difficult time. So if you need an MRI, ask your doctor about Ideal MRI. You can schedule online in minutes at idealmri.com or call 833-IDEAL-MRI.
This is 365 Sports. Text us at 254-339-1122. The text line is sponsored by Riverbend's Liquor and Wine, with the most extensive variety of craft beer in Waco. A hidden gem on Lakeshore Drive and 19th Street.
We have had a chance to visit with a lot of the offensive linemen here at Big 12 Pro Days, and Luke Kandra, Cincinnati, in fact, is next and joins us on 365 Sports. What's the day been like for you?
Oh, it's a good day, early day, but we were able to get in, and it was a good time.
Well, look, they saved the best for first to the offensive linemen, right? Like, you guys are the most important players and unsung, so it's time for you guys got a little bit of, get done early, go enjoy the city and all that. You're one of the more under-the-radar guys, I think, but if you look at what you did, the offenses you played in, the way you're able to run block, do you feel that that maybe now people in this process are starting to see you a little bit more?
Yeah, I think that's what really my story of my football career was, kind of under the radar, which I kind of like personally because, in order to someone really knows football, knows those kind of people under the radar. But it's really cool seeing people start to look at me and be like, hey, this guy could be it.
What were you looking to accomplish out here today?
I was not able to run it. I did not run at the combine, so
Right.
just showing what I can do, moving in space and all the drills and stuff like that. So,
How do you think this event sets up as a compliment to not only being able to finish off maybe what you didn't do, but for the guys that didn't get that opportunity? What do you think about the setup here to give them a look in front of NFL teams?
yeah, it's a great opportunity because all the top guys in each of the Big 12 schools. The scouts come for them, but then they also get to see some of the lesser known guys that are just trying to make it, who didn't get invited to the combine. And it's really cool seeing just like them, get to see them show what they can do.
What's it been like, and what was it like, the transition from where you were, Cincinnati, and of course had a great run, 3-4 years ago, and then joining the Big 12, and how that transition has gone?
Yeah, I think what Coach Satterfield has done, I followed him from the University of Louisville.
Okay.
Just seeing the consistency we brought from Louisville to Cincinnati, able to really rebuild the culture and what Coach Satterfield has in mind, and really running the football.
You ran a 4.9, right, at the combine? Is that what you ran?
No, I did not run at the
You
combine.
did not run at the combine.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, say yes to that.
Say yes.
Oh, I would, that would be a great number.
It was 4.4. It's 4.4.
4.4.
Yeah, you just torched the wide receivers.
Yeah.
No. Do you what did they tell you about for you running? Again, if you're running 40 yards, it's probably good news, right? It's either really good news or really bad news because you're running somebody down, or you're just chasing your running back down the field or whoever to try to throw some blocks in the end. So how much is that important, or is it more of the shorter drills, the shuttles and the L drill and all those things that are more important to show what you can do?
In my personal opinion, I think the 40 is still good, but I think it's really, for the offensive line, it's the 10-yard split.
Yeah.
It's that explosion to get out, because that's really what offensive line is that short burst of power and what you can do with it. And same with the shuttle, obviously. You can stay low, bend, move, able to change directions.
What's it like to block for Brennan Sorsby?
Sorsby, he's such a good guy, great dude to play with. He's just the energy bringer, and just the talent he brings. He can really throw the rock, and, his confidence that he was able to bring throughout the year, too. It was great playing for him.
The college athletics has changed so much during your entire career, from COVID to NIL, the transfer portal, all of the things that have gone on. What has it been like to be an athlete during this time?
Very strange, honestly. Coming into college, it was COVID. Everything was locked down. We had, when I started, we had 3 different groups lifting, and you could not talk to each other until really almost training camp. And then the start of NIL, that didn't really get big until really the past 2 years, honestly, from 2021. And then the transfer portal, that's a monster of its own. It's becoming more like the NFL, in my opinion, just more professional. It's going to be more of a business.
Do you look at the building of what Coach Satterfield is doing? Can you see what that's going to pay off here in the next couple of years?
Oh, most definitely. This past season we didn't have the record we wanted, 5-7. Even though we were on our losing streak at the end of the season, we still came into the facility to be like, this is a new day. We're all very confident, all high spirit, and And I trained at the University of Cincinnati. I didn't go to Florida. I stayed there, and I watched them this entire offseason. And it's like they're bringing a really good culture. They have a good culture, and I think it's only going to go up for Coach Satin and UC.
I guess what was your feeling about playing at Cincinnati? Just kind of that experience. Obviously knew them very well, but just for people who don't know the fan base that well or the town or whatever, just kind of what was the highlights for you?
I mean, biggest highlight for me, I'm from Cincinnati,
Right.
so being back at home, I mean, just having all my friends and family at the game, I mean, that's in its league of its own. But really, at Nipper, there's no feeling running out on the field. I mean, it's a small stadium, holds about, 40,000, but it feels like 90,000 because just we're on top of you. It gets loud, and the environment, it's definitely the best environment I've been in.
So I know as a native Cincinnatian that this might be a question you get tired of, but it's like I'm from Texas, so everybody thinks I ride a horse, right? But are you a Skyline chili guy? Is that a yes or is that a no?
Be careful.
That is a definite yes.
Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
that is. I cannot go a week without Skyline.
Not a week, huh? Okay.
No, it was hard for me being down at Louisville. They did have one at Louisville, but it just wasn't the same. But, yeah, it's great.
So if you walked into any of these places that serve chili here, which is a different thing altogether,
yeah.
I mean, how do you feel about that? Like,
I'm
is
fine.
it like
I'm a chili supporter. I think
you're an O-lineman too.
Yeah, exactly.
So what I say, because I'm an advocate for people who don't like Skyline.
Yeah.
But it's like, I don't say that's true chili. Cincinnati's like what my dad, who's from Cleveland, said he's like a chili sauce, and then
Okay.
chili's like the beans, the meat, like that's chili.
You know what he said? Beans?
Beans, yeah.
No, I'm a beans and chili.
No,
yes.
I am too.
Yeah.
I am too. A lot of people, like in Texas, they like it that runny stuff. It's just it's all ground down. You played high school football at Elder, Cincinnati, Moeller. Some of the teams in the high school football in that area is fantastic. Ohio's one of the better states. What was it like to come out of there?
I mean, it was great. Really, the whole state of Ohio, and coming, it's really hard to get out of that region of Cincinnati. I mean, every week was a real the GCL. The public schools with the Coleraine.
I saw them about 10 years ago or so.
Yeah, Coleraines, the
that.
Lakotas, the Masons. I mean, it's such a hard to get out of that region in order to continue on to the district, the semifinals in the state.
Do the private schools compete with the public schools, or is it all the same?
Yes and no. I mean, the public schools conference, it's blanking me.
Right, that's
remember
okay.
the name, but like they have like 13 schools, and they have like out of the 10 weeks they played 9 in their conference. They have 1 out of conference, so it's really hard to play them unless you already have that contract for years.
Mhm.
But really, it's kind of like can you find a team?
Yeah.
Like, I know at Elder we played like a team in St. Louis. We played Indianapolis. We played a team from Florida. I mean, it's just teams that want to play you, and really just our conference is GCL. That's three games, so we have to find that extra 7.
So if you are as successful as possible, you do know that you'll be like the second most famous offensive lineman from Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Is that okay with you? If you get the second,
if I'm in that conversation with Jason Kelsey, I mean, that's a pretty good conversation to be in.
Have you met? Did you get a chance to meet them? I know they come. Did they come and hang out with the team? Or
Jason did come when they did their show at UC. He came in and talked to the offensive line, and it was cool seeing his perspective and him talking about his time in the NFL, and it was really cool.
Luke Kandra from Cincinnati. What are your expectations between now and the draft weekend?
Expectations, a lot of anxiety, honestly. It's just a waiting game. I'm very excited, wherever I end up. It's just going to be a great opportunity to continue my career in football.
We appreciate your time, man. Good luck. Thank you.
Guys.
Luke Kandra from Cincinnati with us. Big 12 Pro Days in Frisco, Texas.
Automatic Chef is your local vending, office coffee, and micro market provider, delivering outstanding service to break rooms all over Central Texas for over 50 years. Automatic Chef brings the best products to your location at the best prices. With hundreds of choices in fresh food, coffee, snacks, and drinks, let Automatic Chef tailor a break room solution to your needs. Make break time great again with Automatic Chef. Automatic Chef Canteen, 6900 Imperial Drive in Waco, or online at automaticchef.com.
Baylor alumni are more than 160,000 strong. When we all join hands to support our university, we don't just move the needle, we move mountains. Working together, we create life-changing opportunities for students on the field, in the classroom, in the laboratory, and in life for generations to come. So get connected, get involved. Learn how at baylor.edu/alumni.
There are 26 letters in the alphabet, over 600,000 words in the dictionary, and just 3 of them said together can change everything. Let's order pizza. Those 3 words lead to dough made from scratch and 3 fresh signature cheeses that blanket golden crust in a heavenly melt on Marco's Pizza that'll blow your mind. So visit marcos.com to order and stop by Marco's Pizza in Belmead, China Spring, Woodway, and in Robinson. Marco's. Pizza lovers get it.
Petty Clinic Men's Healthcare in Woodway is now proud to offer you men an exceptional weight management body sculpting product called semaglutide, also known as Ozempic or Wegovy. Semaglutide is an FDA-approved weight management medication. Once-a-week injections of this powerful medication offers an average body fat weight loss of 20% within the first year of treatment. In addition to body sculpting, semaglutide also normalizes blood sugars and has the clinical research proof of reducing blood pressure, cholesterol, stroke, and heart attack risk. If you're like most men and you have stubborn fat that will just not respond to typical diets and exercise, then help is finally here. Semaglutide, affordable, highly effective. Google search Petty Clinic Waco and reach out to the Petty Clinic team today for a free consultation with Dr. Petty to see if semaglutide is right for you. Go to pettycliniclowt.com.
This is 365 Sports. Enjoying the show? Hit the like button and subscribe.
Joey McGuire, Texas Tech football coach, has always discussed what Taj Brooks meant to the program while he's been there, the kind of person he is, and one hell of a football player. Joins us at Pro Days in Frisco. You've heard that before.
Yes,
that's who you are. Did you ever have a time when you had to be kind of realigned with what and how you should handle your life?
I would say not at all. You know what I mean? Just like how you said with Joey McGuire, he has a standard and he has a structure of his program, and you basically just got to follow and be within. You definitely have to. There are going to be days you got to grind, and it's football days within going into fall camp and things like that. But it's fun. One thing about that guy, he makes football fun. He makes being a football player at Texas Tech exciting and fun to be around.
Do you wake up just going, "Let's go"?
All the time, all the time. Like I would say, literally. Me and like 3 other teammates, we can tell you he does that like every day. It's not like when he wants to or if he's tired. Like if he's tired, he's gonna coach his butt off even harder and have more excitement just to be with us.
If you just in the morning were kind of dragging, like say just in your life right now, you're not anywhere near because you just call him and be like, "Hey coach, I need just a little pick me up like before I get out in my day." Would he just be like, "All right, here we go"?
Yep, I feel like he'll definitely do that. He's a guy that's. You can go to Coach McGuire for anything, man. He does a lot for his players, and that's something I love about him, man.
You carried the ball a ton. You were a bowling ball, and yet you had tremendous speed, athleticism, and all of that. But you took a lot of hits. Mm-hmm. What was it like? Did you ever, during the season, ever feel healthy? Or is it always like bangs, bruises, and just parts of the game?
No, I felt healthy the whole season. Joey McGuire does a great job of scheduling practices. I don't know what it is now, but Sundays we had basically like get soreness out Sundays. That's what we call it out. That's what we call it day. And then on Monday we're off. So Mondays he'll tell you I'm in there probably 8 to 9 hours in the training room, in the hot and cold tub, in the treatment, doing prehab, and just doing little small stuff so I can just get my bumps and bruises out because I'm not going to miss practice on Tuesday. That's something about me. Tuesdays was one of our hardest practices, our full pad practices, and basically my mindset is to get to as close to 100% on Tuesday, and everything will take care of itself during the week.
Said prehab, so like getting ready. That's an interesting term there. Mm-hmm. How much did that innovation, those things that maybe you hadn't done before in your life, did you? Oh my gosh, this is really helping.
No, it helps a lot, especially with a guy that his name is Brandon Lee. He was our strength and conditioning coach. He's now at FAU. He's their strength and conditioning coach. He taught us a lot within stretches, within FRC, within taking care of your ankles, taking care of your feet, doing feet exercises, doing ankle exercises. So, because especially at playing running back, you use those a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You use more lower body than upper body in anything. And just taking care of like your joints and your hips, and it pays a pretty price when you take care of them.
He's at FAU with Zach Kitley.
Yes,
what
sir.
kind of a head coach do you think Zach Kitley's going to be?
He's going to be a great guy. I would say a guy that's full of energy, a guy that's going to score a lot of points, and a guy that's wants to win. That's something his motto when he was at Texas Tech and in the offensive room, and just very explosive with an explosive offense.
Joey McGuire, very confident, made some things say, this is what we're going to do. And at times you were so close. And at times you guys ended well, but didn't. In the end, knocking on the door again. Next level, you think, with what they have set up to go from here?
Mm-hmm. I think Texas Tech do a great job of preparing guys for the next level. You see it. Me, Caleb Rogers, Jalen Conyers, and Josh Kelly as well. You know, and then even former guys that are here, Mason Tharp, DB Kira, Quincy Ledet, things like that. You know, they prepare us for a great job of getting us ready for the NFL, getting us ready for these moments, running the 40 and things like that, getting us in the right training repertoire and things like that.
There are a lot of really good running backs in this class.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, it's Ashton Gentian and Quinshon Judkins and Hampton and you and Scattaboo and all that. Has that, at least this particular year, made it really kind of interesting in the way that you guys maybe are pushing each other? Because the NFL had this little time of running backs where like, those guys are just guys. Like anybody can do this job. And then this year was the proof of like, look, Derrick Henry made a huge difference. Saquon Barkley is pretty much the reason the Eagles took that next step.
Definitely.
And you have this new renaissance of running backs. Has it pushed you well?
Mm-hmm, definitely. Just seeing that, first and foremost, I got a chance to get drafted.
Mm-hmm.
And then just seeing the competition. I feel like in the league, you need running backs. You need guys that need to touch the ball in the run game and helping in the pass pro game as well. But man, it's a thing that you need. It's something you can't have not like skinny running backs or just guys that do just one thing. You need guys that can do everything. Because the more versatile you are, the better you are as a player. So I feel like just especially going in the league.
How would you assess this event? What did you think? I mean, you were part of the combine, so you got to see the big part of the circus, so to speak. But what did you think of today, and what was your goal coming out here today?
Mm-hmm, for sure. It was a pretty good event, man. I just wanted to show teams that my drills are smooth from the run game and then even in the pass pro game, and I feel like I did that. I caught every ball that was thrown my way. My route tree was pretty clean, and then my run game, the drills that we set up, it wasn't just like the combine, but the run game, the run drills, the indie runs that we did at Big 12, it went great. So.
You mentioned pass pro, and I got to admit, maybe for a long, long time, I just see what running backs could do when they have the ball in their hands. Could they catch it or whatever? But pass protect, you can't play in the NFL if you can't protect the quarterback.
Exactly.
How much has that been drilled inside of you?
Since day one, since I got there, it's something my coach taught me. He was like, man, if you don't understand pass protection, you're not going to get on the field. So that's something I took to heart, and I understand it. And just looking at defenses, looking at defensive structures, looking at just the little things, little tendencies that linebackers do, safeties that linebackers do, just to alert that they're blitzing. And that's something that pops out on my tape as well, just knowing things before they happen.
Did you develop a love for it? I know you love running the ball, but did you love delivering a block?
Yeah, a little bit, but because my freshman year of high school, I was converted. I was a linebacker at first, so I was converted to running back, and just really just love being physical, being a guy that just wants to do more for his team, wants to win, and doing the extra things in that way.
879 carries. Mm-hmm. You remember all of them?
The last 2 years, yep.
That's a bunch. That means you handle the attrition because it's a hard position to play. Has anyone said that that's too many carries entering the NFL?
For sure, just because they don't. But I've been healthy. My resume speaks it. I only missed this past year. I missed one game, and I didn't want to miss that game. So it really. And then the year before, I played all my games, and that was the most carries I had in the season. So it's really just being durable, knowing how to fall, knowing how to do the little things right, knowing how to take care of your body, knowing you putting the right things in your body so your body can produce at a high level.
You were a guy who, the more you get, you're like Pac-Man, the more you get fed, the faster you go, right? Do you feel that way on the field? Like, carry 1 to carry 15 to carry 25?
All right, for sure. Just knowing, I feel like if I'm hot, man, it's going to be hard to stop me. And that's just the motto I have. And then you can speak on the tapes and watching my games and thing, man. It's just, when I'm hot, I'm hot, man. It's going to be hard to stop me, and it's going to be hard to slow me down.
So we were talking to Devin Neal from Kansas. They had to play at Arrowhead Stadium all year long, so he's missing out on these brand-new facilities they've got. You got to see the building of the big monstrosity, right? And what's the new facilities out in Lubbock?
Man,
I mean,
it's crazy. I was in there for about a good 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then, man, I had to call it goodbye. I had to go train. But no, it was fun. It was a great environment, man. Texas Tech is on the rise, man. I can't wait to see what happens. And then, the running back that came from USC, he was from our high school. We're from the same town, man.
Yeah.
So it's great, man. I'm glad he's there. He's doing a great job, and I can't wait to see what they do in the fall.
How many people have asked you what's Manor, Texas like?
A lot. But I tell them
you have good manners.
I tell them they pronouncing it wrong, but it's Manor.
Yeah.
But it's just a little town outside of Austin.
Yeah.
It's growing though. Hutto, it's exploding. It's getting bigger. Taj Brooks.
How underrated is Lubbock? Do you feel like you always hear about it's so far out there? I lived out there for a couple years. I had to drive 7 hours to get out there, but when I got out there, it was awesome. Like
it's definitely underrated. It's definitely a city. I will say it's not a vacation city.
Right.
It's a city you can start a family with. You can go there. You can.
Great for college.
Great college town. Great everything. Food is good there. There's different varieties of food that's good there. So it's a great town.
This segment with Taj Brooks brought to you by North Star Funding Partners. We appreciate any of the Texas Tech segments brought to you by that great company. We appreciate you. We've had you on multiple times. It's always been enjoyable. We'll be watching you. Good luck.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Taj Brooks, Texas Tech, with us on 365 Sports.
One size fits all. That may be all right for an adjustable belt or cheap sunglasses, but when it comes to your financial needs, no one wants a one-size-fits-all strategy. Cam Heathcott, your Edward Jones financial advisor, knows that his most important goals are yours. That's why we take the time to understand your needs. Knowing you, that's how Edward Jones makes sense of investing. Cam Heathcott in Conroe at 936-756-7717. Edward Jones, member SIPC.
Pizza, burgers, and Bears football. There's no place around Waco that serves them all other than Bubba's 33. Come show your green and gold and enjoy some of Waco's best food and beverages while watching your favorite team, the Bears. When real Bears fans get hungry, Bubba's 33 is the #1 spot for ice-cold drinks, hand-stretched, stone-baked pizzas, and bacon-infused burgers. Join us for indoor or patio dining. Bubba's 33, Waco's restaurant and proud supporter of Baylor Bears football. Sick 'em, Bears.
Do you or your kids get nervous about going to the dentist? Stonewood Dental, Dr. Steve Childress, he can help.
I've spent a career taking care of patients who as children had bad experiences, and now they're adults that hate going to the dentist. If I get a kid at 3 years old and they come every 6 months and it's a happy experience, it's normal for them. Now they have an accident at 6 or 7 or 8 at school. Now they have a broken tooth or a trauma, and they have to come here. They're used to lights, they're used to water in their mouth, they're used to experience, they already trust us. It's amazing what we can do with that kid without it being a negative thing. But if I see a 6 or 7 or 8 year old that's never been to the dentist, and now they have a trauma or an unfortunate unexpected toothache, it's harder to do that for that kid and it not be somewhat of a negative experience. So bottom line is I try to teach kids and adults and teenagers and everybody the way I'd want my family treated, which is where it's a necessary part of life. You just take care of it. It doesn't have to be that big a deal.
Learn more, stonewood-dental.com.
1, 2.
I'm in love with a man named Rudy. I'm okay with that. He knows exactly what I want. He keeps me coming back. Cooks breakfast, lunch, and dinner for me. Does the dishes too. I'm in love with a man named Rudy. Last name Barbecue. It sure is easy to fall in love with Rudy's tasty oak smoked barbecue.
Next in line.
This is 365 Sports.
The 5 o'clock hour is brought to you by Edward Jones and financial advisor Cam Heathcott. Edward Jones, making sense of investing.
Now here's David Smoak, Paul Catalina, and Craig Smoak.
Caleb Lohner, Utah tight end, former Baylor basketball player, with us on 365 Sports. We got a chance to cover you. You were a wrecking ball there. And then all of a sudden, football. When I heard that you were going to play football, I said, of course he is. That's your style and personality.
Yeah.
How much fun was that?
Man, it was awesome. It was the funnest year of sports I think I've had ever. And it wasn't, it wasn't perfect. There's a lot of things that, as a team was tough, but man, it was so fun. It was awesome. Transitioning from a different sport, never thought I would have played football. It just felt right, putting on the gear, and it was awesome.
What was the first, because you had multiple, but what was the first touchdown like? Just that feeling of being in the end zone and like, not only are you playing football, dude, but now you're scoring touchdowns.
Yeah, no, it was special. It just, again, something I never thought I would do.
Yeah.
And I didn't really understand that until I kind of went home and was able to sit down like, geez, I just caught a touchdown in a Division I football game. So, yeah, I was very blessed to be a part of that and trust that Utah had for me, and it was awesome.
Did you ever speak with Baylor about playing football?
There was some small conversation kind of going around, but I just, I didn't want to force anything. And
no, but they had Rico Gathers. They had others.
Ishmael Wainwright. Mark Vital went on to play.
And guys that were like you. They were fearless. They were physical.
Yeah.
And so when I saw that, I was like, I wonder if there ever were conversations with Dave Aranda or anybody else. But it was rebounding a basketball. Was that like jumping up in the red zone to catch a pass?
Yeah, just the ball shaped a little different.
Yeah, a little bit.
Start in a different place. But Scott was actually, Coach Drew was one of the ones who I asked some of these questions to. I was like, hey, you've had guys do this. Like, what's the best way? And, he gave me some advice and called certain people. And, it was kind of weird to be like, hey, Coach, I'm going to play football at a different university, because I was, just going to stay and play hoops again. I had another year of eligibility. Took the leap of faith and absolutely loved it.
So did you miss, I guess, the norm that you had been living there as far as being a college basketball player? Was that like a big change for you? And just what was that change like, moving and then changing sports and just all that came with that this past year?
It was a lot. It was a lot of to process at first, especially going from basketball where our season ended, and I was, learning the playbook and doing all these things a few weeks later. It was kind of like a quick decision. But I was, super happy when I understood it was going to be a little bit different, going from one sport to another, moving, across the country a little bit and into a different place. But honestly, the Utah football program welcomed me with open arms. I felt so much love and just appreciation, and there's all sorts of guys helping me. Like, I told someone a story earlier. The dude across from me in my locker, his name's Munir McLean. I'll never forget him showing me how to put on football pants. I was like, dude, I don't know how to do this. We were taking pictures, and he was like, I was like, can you show me how to put them on? To put them on, they didn't look right.
And pants now, they're different, because a lot of times guys aren't even wearing pads anymore. There's some.
They're above your knee. That's the thing.
They are. And there was the knee pads, the thigh pads. That's what I'm talking about when I played up until the end of high school. But that's it. It was so much it's hard to get them in. Now it's different. So you mentioned Scott Drew. What was it like? Obviously, they're about to start tomorrow, the first round. It's been a tough year, but they got in it again. What was it like to play in that program?
It was awesome. Scott Drew is a class act. The whole program, everyone that I've worked with, the players, that was, Baylor basketball will always hold a special place in my heart, and just the relationships I made. But I give credit to, that program for just a lot of who I am now as an individual, too, outside of basketball. So I will forever be grateful for that.
You have a coaching roster of Mark Pope, Scott Drew, Kyle Whittingham.
Yeah.
No one else in the world has that.
No,
you have that's your resume.
Coaches,
yeah. What does that do for you? Not only just as an athlete, but just as a human being preparing for life.
Yeah, I just was able to soak in so much wisdom and guidance from great individuals who are great at what they did, and in the process of that and habits, and those are things. It's funny you mentioned. I was thinking about that the other day. We were talking about how, just like you said, went from Mark Pope, Scott Drew, Kyle Whittingham, all three guys who will be remembered as coaches and also great individuals. And so changed me as a person. It's just made me better. And, things I've learned I'll carry on for the rest of my life.
So we're at a combine for football. Like, not only did you make the transition, but now here you are out in front of NFL scouts. So just kind of what's your mindset with this whole process, and what do you want to show today?
Just wanted to show that I'm here to pursue my football career, and this isn't just kind of, I'm going to try it, I'm going to do it. This is, no, I'm serious about this. This is something that I have passion in now, and it's something that I want to pursue and, be elite at the highest level.
You're a physical. Did you grow up just like being rambunctious, like a bull in a china shop, or is that just something that became a part of who you were as a player?
I grew up with 4 brothers,
there you go.
Maybe that,
ding,
maybe
ding,
that
ding.
gives a little bit. I think I've just always enjoyed the competitiveness and physicality of sports, and basketball is slowly changing a little bit. There's a lot more skill versus big guys rolling around in the paint, but credit to its own. Football is a lot more physical, but I really enjoyed it. And there's technique things that I wasn't great at and had to learn, but I think just the initial spark of wanting to hit somebody and things like that, I actually enjoyed.
Baylor fans are going to ask, do you have any eligibility left? You can shoot on up to Raleigh tonight. They're depleted. They need a big guy to mash now.
I'm like Scott. I got 15 minutes in me if you need it.
Hey, they would
take every second of it right now. They're so 15, banged up.
They really have struggled with inside, and then again, that's part of the game itself. Caleb Lohner from Utah, tight end, with us at Big 12 Pro Days as. Again, this is just such a cool story because we saw with Rico and Ish Wainwright and others that it's just what a great story and vital.
Yeah.
And they were able to taste a little bit of that. And now, of course, Ish is back doing what he does with basketball. But did you ever have any doubt you could make the transition?
No, because I don't think I would have made the transition if I did have any doubt. Now it's kind of my thing is, hey, if I'm doing this 100%. And I truly believe, especially with the recruitment that I got from Utah, that I could, be an elite tight end and have an impact. And I think I did. Yeah, there's time where I wanted more reps and wanted to be on the field more, but we struggled a little bit throughout the season with certain things, especially offensively. But here we are now, and super grateful.
What are you way better at now that you weren't very good at when you first jumped in?
Geez, everything. Pad level, blocking, being able to ID, basic coverages, and just really basic football, I would say. Everything at first was a little wobbly. Now I've tightened everything up and ready to continue that step of learning all the football I need to know going in, trying to make some of these camps and make a team next year.
You mentioned it was a bit of a tough year in terms of overall results, but what did you learn about the Utah program, just being in the mud with those guys, and then how did you guys kind of navigate the rising injury and just all that came with the adversity you faced?
It was tough, but I would say the Utah football program is the perfect place to handle that, especially with a leader like Kyle Whittingham. He's traditional as they get. He's walking in with a cutoff. He doesn't, yesterday we lost. Who cares? Today we're working. So I think just great leadership at every level of that program. We were able to still, enjoy our season and do what we could with all the injuries and the things that we had going on.
There seemed to be a lot of confidence because of what they had done in the Pac-12, moving into the Big 12, and then it just didn't work out. And, of course, there's is Cam playing or not and whatever else. Man, it's a great story. It was great covering you at Baylor. We're happy with you. Good luck.
Thank you.
This would be a great storytell ending.
Yeah.
It already is. It don't matter what. It already is. Appreciate your time.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, guys.
Caleb Lohner, Utah tight end, Baylor basketball, 365 Sports in Frisco. And, of course, he was at BYU before he went to Baylor. Barncat was asking about we would have Kansas State. DJ Giddens, the running back, will join us. He'll be a part of it tomorrow, along with, again, much more. When we come back, an update. Let's go with updates. McNeese State had to hang on, but they had such a lead. They beat Clemson 69-67. BYU is on. They beat VCU 80-71. That's a later game that is just now wrapping up. So the biggest upset of the day is technically the seeding with McNeese State. Everything, Gonzaga's drilling Georgia 80-58. So those are the games that we had not updated from earlier today when we hit a lot of these interviews. So, Creighton's a 9 seed, but we always said 9 seeds beat 8 seeds more often than not. And maybe that's the case even the rest of the tournament, the next 3 games.
That's not an upset.
Not at all.
No, that's just
it's not. That's what I'm saying. That 9-8 really is That's not even really. They're not saying they're a 9th seed because they're not as good as Louisville. It's just the way they slot the seeds. I tried to explain that to somebody. They couldn't quite understand it. But oh well.
Yeah, that's not an upset. For the most part, but. I've totally forgot to fill out a bracket. That shows you where my head is at when it comes to college basketball. So did any of y'all pick McNeese State over LSU?
I did.
Y'all did.
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, I did.
McNeese State over who they play again?
Clemson.
I said LSU. Yeah.
Right. Clemson.
Somebody was in the chat going, "We're back to Clemsoning again."
No.
Hey, you know what? The whole ACC is potentially Clemsoning. But yeah, back to Clemson. I remember when that was a thing, man. I remember that vividly years back, and then obviously they changed that narrative pretty emphatically with multiple national titles. But, yeah, I'm old enough to remember when Clemsoning was a thing. I'm also old enough to remember when the ACC was the dominant basketball conference, and they are not this year, that's for sure.
I can't wait for the promo for next year. The ACC, we're good at stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah. I mean, it's been a rough stretch for that league, and I think that the tournament's probably going to be not quite what they anticipated or what it's been over years past. We'll see. Just one team's lost so far, but, that was a really nice win for Will Wade, and I think the most excited people in the country right now are probably NC State fans, right?
Absolutely. John Fanta had a quote from Will Wade, Craig, post-game after the win today. Villanova's trying to buy a coach out who's in the tournament right now. So he's not throwing somebody under the bus other than Villanova, but they're – obviously, so they'll put those things together on who that might be.
Trying to get Ronnie Terry.
He's not in the tournament right now.
Oh, that's right.
Now, Kurt Bowles mentioned earlier today when he were talking about whether UT makes the move or not. Most everyone expects that, but he seems to be like a cat with 9 lives, losing last night, though. It mentioned Sean Miller as one of the guys that they would – he's a good coach.
I don't think everybody would be on board with that, but obviously I understand he's got a resume and he's a name and all of that. So I don't know. There's not really a lot of people that come to mind, honestly, that unless you go and steal a guy, that's like the level of taking Schlossnagle from A&M or getting Sarkisian and Sarkisian's name's been built up with the last 2-3 years of what he's done at Texas more so. But, I mean, he was the golden boy there for a long time and then, had his own personal issues and then rose back up. And so they hire names. They hire, big-time quality coaches. I don't know basketball-wise who's out there that checks that box, but Sean Miller maybe is one of those names.
Would you like to hear the list I just pulled up on just a random coaching hot board?
Sure.
Okay. And stop me when I say something insanely dumb.
Well,
go on.
They're going to reach big.
Sean Miller.
Okay,
not insanely dumb, right? T.J. Otzelberger.
I can see that. I mean, I don't think that would fit. I don't think they would. I don't think that's big enough for them. With all due respect, he's a hell of a coach.
And I don't think he's done enough to really make that splash. I mean, championship level wise,
Billy Eugene Self.
No, because he's going to be at Oklahoma State.
I mean, that's and this is Chip Brown. This is according to him, Kansas head coach Bill Self has always been interested in the Texas job for various reasons.
Nick Saban was
Brown, everybody has ever took a breath and coached has been interested in the Texas job.
Yeah. Everybody, I mean, give them credit. They're going to swing big.
Nate Oates.
All right.
I've heard that one. Oates certainly qualifies, yeah. Quinn Snyder. Royal Ivy, who's with the Rockets.
Former player at Texas.
Yeah. Snyder's been in the pros for a long time now, though.
Yeah.
I remember when he was a young-looking Quinn Snyder back at Missouri when they were in the Big 12, right? That's forever and ever ago. But I think Nate Oates is the name that you said that would be like the big – that's probably who it would be. Like if it's going to be a typical Texas pursuit, then that would be the guy.
They took Sarkisian from Alabama, but he is, of course, an offensive coordinator, so go to Alabama and get your basketball coach.
Now, look, if Texas offered Lance Leipold as the football coach to replace somebody, you go from Kansas to Texas for that job.
For sure.
The fact that anyone thinks that Texas is a better basketball job than Kansas is insane.
No, it's not. I guess maybe just if there's a feeling that he's, looking for some fresh pastures in life to go and explore and just do something new after all those years in Lawrence, then, I mean, if Stillwater, I understand there's a personal connection, obviously, to Stillwater, but, it's Texas, so they're at least going to get a phone call, probably just about anybody they want to.
Yeah.
And, how the other party listens to that, we'll see. But Nate Oates definitely would be a name that would be very like Schlossnagel kind of heavy.
From a conference foe, yeah.
And who knows how deep they go.
Yeah.
One thing that I did read with a couple of different people who covered Texas is that the NIL needs to be beefed up. They got Trey Johnson. He's an incredible player. They've got some players that they're paying, but maybe not what we expect, or that's an excuse or cop-out. That could be true both ways. And in some cases, they're talking about the Moody Center's a brand-new place, so it's not facilities. So there's a little bit of, are they getting focused in on men's basketball the way that they have in football? No. But at the same time, it's not like they're like barely making it by. But yeah.
Mick Cronin.
Mick Cronin at UCLA. I mean,
I don't know.
He'd bring. No, they don't. Not like it's not like they aren't tough because Chris Beard had a team that was tough.
You're talking about the arena. That's as good as there is in the entire country.
Yes.
So I mean, look, let's just not pretend like there's some basketball powerhouse. Let's also not dog them either, just for breathing. But it's not as though they are, the Alabama basketball either. So, it's been hit or miss. I definitely think there was a lot of that this year and a lot of people that are ready to move on from Rodney Terry, but nothing's official. So we'll see. Before they start a search, they got to actually make that move. So, technically they don't have to, but a public search, they have to do that.
Yeah, they will. All right, so, and Del Conte's not bad about kind of taking his time. He doesn't have to make the move. There's no need to make it unless you're ready to know who you're going to replace.
Well, for all we know, he's already met at the graveyard with some guy in some random Texas town somewhere, right?
Right outside of, so think about that. They had Rick Barnes and they forced him out. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, at the time, he was kind of losing tread. A couple of schools were getting better, and they had Rick Barnes, who's had a great run at Tennessee. All right, when we come back, Paul Catalina's top 5. We'll do that, and if we have time for one of the players wrapping up the DB's workouts, we'll try to get one more in. And don't forget, we're loaded up for tomorrow in 3 until 6. Hit the like button if you haven't, the subscribe button if you haven't. And again, yes, we're trying to bring as many players to you as we can. And thanks to Matt Enser of the Big 12 Conference for helping us out with all of this. This is 365 Sports.
You spent hours selecting your patio sofa. Choosing that grill would have taken weeks. Probably your car needed way more time. For sure, you would have spent months mulling over that pool of yours. Protecting your prized possessions needs no time, though. Just visit coversandall.com, create a custom size per your requirements, pick a fabric, and personalize your cover. And leave the rest to us. Premium protection for all that you love.
You might ask yourself what functional mushrooms are good for. Whether it's lion's mane, cordyceps, turkey tail, shiitake, reishi, they all serve a purpose.
You have ones for neurological health, ones for sleeping and gut health and all these different areas. They pack a powerful punch.
Functional mushrooms are, of the millions of mushrooms and fungi out there, the ones that we can actually ingest and benefit from as humans.
Like all adaptogens, they kind of adapt to what you need at the time that you need them.
We don't even really know that we're suffering. We just don't quite feel right. That's where these adaptogens come in and really start to close the gap and really start getting us closer to how we want to feel.
Functional mushrooms have definitely re-energized me and helped me face each day with a new vigor for life.
Learn ways that functional mushrooms can help you. Go to getumble.com.
This is Paul Catalina's Top 5, brought to you by Ticket Club. Forget the fees, just big savings. Click the link in the description to find out more.
Welcome into Paul Catalina's Top 5, brought to you by Ticket Club. Today, we talk about the big 12 players who could be sneaky good draft picks on defense. So, let's dive in. Darian Porter, cornerback from Iowa State. Look, a lot of buzz came out of the combine about Jacob Parrish from Kansas State. He's no longer a sleeper. People know about him. Darian Porter ran a really good time. Also, he's very similar to Jacob Parrish in that he puts his nose in there and gets involved in the run game as well. Really good in coverage, not afraid to tackle. Classic Matt Campbell player in Darian Porter from Iowa State. Somebody who I've seen ranked easily in the top 80 to 100 in a lot of different experts' rankings. Darian Porter, Iowa State, really interesting one. It might get caught up in the wash a little bit, so you might get a steal on him in a later round. Number 4, Kobe Bryant from Kansas. All this guy did was get interceptions, score touchdowns, and make big plays in key moments. Yeah, he's not the biggest guy. He's not the strongest guy. Decent speed, but he's not the fastest cornerback. He's not going to beat anybody in all those measurables. But all he does is make big plays in big moments. All you got to do is turn on the film and watch him. When it comes down to the fourth quarter, right before halftime, stopping big drives, Kobe Bryant knows how to make plays and always has. A guy like that can help your team. He's just got a knack for the moment. So if you need a defensive back and you want a guy who's not afraid of the spotlight, Kobe Bryant, Kansas. Love this player. Love him. Number 3, Tyler Batty from BYU. Huge production. Stopping the run, getting after the quarterback. And again, not the sexiest measurables. Not the guy who was dominating the combine or anything like that. But a player who knows what he's doing. He's smart. He's veteran. He's an older guy. So you can kind of plug and play him, and he's going to be fine for you. Plus, played with that Kalani Sitake just violent attitude that they have on both sides of the ball, especially when it comes along the defensive line. He's there to hit you. He's there to punish you. And 92 has been in the backfield once he's been there. Number 2, Nick Martin from Oklahoma State. This guy is going to be a day 3 pick, but always around the ball. A guy, with Colin Oliver in that lineup, another guy maybe I could put in this list, but they're always around the ball. They make big plays, athletic, tough, smart. Again, going to probably start as a special teamer, but don't be surprised to see Nick Martin do some big things in the NFL one day. And number 1, Karene Reed from Utah will be an absolute plus as an addition to special teams year 1 for your team. Really good tackler, nose for the ball, but also right now because he's not a big, strong guy, athletic enough, makes big plays, but a special teamer galore. I promise you right now, you need guys like Karene Reed on your team. I love Karene Reed. I think he's going to help a team out. He's a day 3 pick. Sleeper among sleepers, but Karene Reed, linebacker Utah. Hope your team drafts him, and then watch all the big special teams plays he makes, and then probably gets on the field and helps you on defense as well. That is going to do it for Big 12 Pro Days and this Top 5. We're back in studio tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed it. Smokey will let us go because we've got a lot of stuff to clean up right now.
No, we do. I've got pages upon pages of notes that making sure we cross-check guests. We were hoping that Corey Black, who played high school football at Conley and Waco, would be done, Oklahoma State corner, but they're still doing their drills and it should be wrapped up here in a minute. And Paul wanted to premature the top 5.
Well, I mean, it would be better, but I don't think we're going to get him because, he's not done yet.
Might get him off to the side with a cell phone or something like that if we possibly can.
Hey, I want to say something before we go. Big thank you to our sponsors and those that made the house we stayed in possible. That was a really cool house we stayed in, and we're already trying to figure out how to get back in there for media days for the Big 12 this summer. I don't know if we were all involved in that conversation last night, but we all had a lot of space, a lot of accoutrements, a lot of cool bells and whistles to that house and everything. And so I just want to say big thanks to the sponsors for
Alan
making that
Samuels
happen.
House of Travel. Yeah.
Alan Samuels for making that happen. We've definitely had some not so nice places we've stayed at before on trips like over the years, and this was not the case. This was perfect for the number of people we had and just the travel to and fro and everything. It was great, man. So, yeah, definitely a big thank you to Alan Samuels for making the last couple of nights happen and allow us to be comfortable when we wrap up each day.
In Vegas at Big 12 Media Days, but prior to that, the Super Bowl, with what they did at House of Travel with the house in Vegas. We had the same one twice. The airline tickets to get us there.
New Orleans was
awesome. And it had that very unique home that was on a second level above like a bunch of businesses that ended up being just fantastic. More than, Emery, come over here for one just quick second. But more than we could ever need. Thanks to Bill Denton, thanks to also Bambi Eskew and Alan Samuels House of Travel. It has been phenomenal. Emery he's worn out. He's tapped out. We're going to get Faith to come up here if we can for a second because she was the one that was our liaison between the athletes and also getting up here on the show. Is this your most battered but exciting and yet fruitful, productive day ever?
It honestly is. This might be the craziest day that I've had since I've been working with y'all.
Crazier than the Super Bowl?
I don't know.
This year at the Super Bowl, actually Emery disappeared and would go upstairs and use the internet up there because it was stronger. And so he had times where he was away from the madness.
He was vegging.
Yeah. So no, but I mean he effectively doing it.
They had little cots up there. I was taking naps. And all that. It was nice.
No, there was one Super Bowl that had nap pods. I can't remember which one it was. I think it was Phoenix. They had nap pods, or San Francisco, the Google pods you could go nap in.
Yesterday I could have used one of those right here in this lobby. That would have been great.
I could use one now.
Yeah. So but yeah, you did a fantastic job because you had to.
So tell everyone what you're doing. I mean, we kind of say you, but what have you been doing?
So editing all the segments, sending them to Garrett, posting them on social media. Just all that good stuff. Yep.
Yeah. So Emery, we had 9 interviews in a row, back to back to back to back. A guy got up, a guy sat down, a guy got up, a guy sat down, a guy got up, a guy sat down, over and over and over again. And Emery has to take those from StreamYard where they're stored, and then clean up the little middle parts of it where there's transitional sit down.
When I introduced Caleb Lohner from BYU, where he was and wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, BYU lacrosse superstar. Caleb Lohner.
But yes, on every trip that I've been on, Alan Samuels House of Travel has done a fantastic job. The Vegas house, awesome. New Orleans, loved it. This house, beautiful. And there's a pool room. Garrett and I shot some pool yesterday. I just whooped up on him, so
Garrett,
we had a good time.
Yeah, okay, he did. Yep. So, did you sleep well last night?
Garrett did not inform me that he can snore at times.
All right. Well, there were a few trips with Paul, and eventually he found the problem.
Yeah.
Right?
No, look, boom.
I still got
Hey.
my 8 hours in, so we're all good.
Yeah.
We're all good.
I'm a mask now. I'm good.
Paul now puts on the Hannibal Lecter mask.
Yeah.
And
whatever
but,
works.
But we all, and
I prefer to think of it as Top Gun.
Yeah.
there you go.
It's very simple.
But Emery, every day, I mean, there's a lot of going on. He hardly ever says a word. We tell him
That's because you
bring
tell
him
me
up.
not to speak.
Yeah, we need to. I actually think we ought to have like an extra couple more headsets in the studio.
His rule is, most people, the polite thing is you speak when you're spoken to. You've told Emery you don't speak at all.
Yeah, like
I don't want to hear your voice.
Shut it down.
Because we're about to run him off right now because we need his microphone.
Well, don't because
for our
turn that down
for the rookie of the year.
Yeah. So Faith, Baylor University, Faith Lynch joins us, and she is wanting to get into the business of a sideline reporter, basketball, football, has monitored Chris, Budden, among others. And she was our liaison. The workouts are behind us, and somebody asked earlier, why don't you guys show the workouts? Because we're really not supposed to. The NFL Network, but she's been our liaison. Players go off into an open area where they can get interviewed, and then she brings them up. And perfect score, other than the DBs are running late.
So today, yesterday, I mean, she had a couple of times where she swung and missed and didn't get one because it was first day. Today, literally, we gave her the list, and we just told her to come get out of the batter's box now because, we don't have time for to wait out the end of these drills. But you got everybody we asked for today.
Everybody.
Every single one, which is what Emery is couldn't,
Even Shiloh, which
Yeah.
I thought was probably
that was
unlikely.
probably my win of the day.
It was an incredible way because we started the show late because we had Cordell Stewart and Mason Crosby that were great. We'll have that tomorrow. And then all of a sudden I go, it's Shiloh. Just sitting there. I didn't even know the players were ready yet. And fantastic. So what has this been like for you?
Yeah, this has been fun. I mean, obviously this is something I want to do and break into. And so it's been good for me just to network and talk to other people, talk to other women in the business. Like, what are you doing? How do you figure it out? And just learning the ropes of, okay, put your foot in there and grab someone and walk them up to the booth and sit them down. And it's been great, too, just to see some familiar faces, a lot of the Baylor guys, Caleb Lohner, people I just didn't think I was going to see again, and so building those relationships has been really fun, being able to have the guys for 30 seconds as I'm walking them up, just ask them how they're doing, what they thought today was. It's been fun.
And Mekhi Bernard, the running back from Utah, does an interview with us, and then at the end he goes, what was his goal? Coach Whittingham talked to somebody new every day and asked him 2 questions, and he said, that's when I talked to Faith. That was a great compliment to you.
Yeah, it's very nice. And I mean, I could barely, I'm talking to 12, 5, however many people at one time, and yeah, that was nice of him to say something. This is what you want to do. This is a great way to get your foot in the door and get to meet other people, but also just now you've done it because you did. No, I'm telling you, we got to be careful because Emery got the big head.
Yeah.
But no,
you crushed it. That's for sure.
Yeah.
You crushed Emery's big head.
You have absolutely rocked out about the last 2 days.
Thanks. I'm ready for media day now. Now I can go out there.
Oh no, I can't wait for you to be there. Yeah.
Emery's gonna slash your tires.
Yeah, I know. Emery's not ready for me to go to media. I don't think Emery's like, Faith's not coming. Leave her at home.
No, that's already we will make those decisions at a certain time. And then your mom and dad live a half a mile from here?
Yeah, I was able to walk both days. It's been great. It's worked out. They were like, Paul said it's in Frisco, and I was like, well, that's perfect. My parents just moved here. They're enjoying it. It's been sweet to spend time with them. And, I was a volleyball player, and so I didn't get a lot of time with them, Thanksgivings, whatever. So now that I'm able to hang out with them and to spend time, and they're having a blast too. They can't wait to see me at 6, and I can tell them all the stories today.
Well, one more thing we need Emery to do then is peel off this segment and send to your parents of you being on
Honey
the show.
and Graham.
Honey and Graham, yeah.
So Honey Grams is you're literally okay.
Oh yeah, they had them at their wedding.
Okay.
Yep, Honey and Grams. Everyone thinks my name should be S'more. It's
it's too bad they got married before hashtags or anything, but that would have been a great.
No, it's
if you
okay.
want,
Faith is
change
good.
it. S'more Lynch.
No, Faith is good.
You should never let us.
I know.
You're.
And of course, I'm like, they're like, oh, marshmallow. I'm like, is that a fat joke? Is that what are you trying to do? What are we doing
here? What's your
Yeah.
brother's name?
Preston.
Okay, so there's no cereal named Preston.
No, he was supposed to be a Hope.
Okay.
And Faith and Hope, but came out of Preston. So.
Okay. But yeah, if his name was Jack, he could be Applejack.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Ba-dum-bum.
Yeah.
Ba-dum-bum. All right, so we've mentioned House of Travel. We want to do it again because we will be up here again during the media days in July. Can't wait. Matt Enser from the Big 12 Conference has been incredible. Some of the SIDs of other schools who have been here, including Brett Pine, who helped us get Gerry Bohanon, who's just such a great, unbelievable gentleman. And thanks to Clark Williams, of course, of the Big 12 Conference as well. All of our sponsors, thank you. We have so much more to show you tomorrow and maybe filter into early next week as well. We've given you the updates on all the games that are from the earlier sessions. Any way to wrap it up, Craig? Or are you pretty much tapped out too?
I'm ready to
I bet you are.
get
Well,
back to
we got
town.
a lot of work to do to pick up all this stuff, and we will. Garrett, phenomenal job, and Emery Winter, incredible. Faith, thank you. You've helped our coverage be a lot better. It was good anyway, but now you've helped take it to another level.
Yeah, just thanks to everybody involved. Thanks to the Big 12. Thanks to Alan Samuels. Faith did incredible. Garrett did a great job. Emery as well. And so, yeah, it was a good trip, and we can look forward to hopefully being in a similar situation here with Media Days coming up in a few months. So, yeah.
You won't have to walk up and down the stairs.
Yeah,
it's all down there. So
One security guard stopped me and asked me how I was getting my steps in if I was tracking it. So.
Oh, yeah, you probably should have. It'd be interesting. You've been walking a lot.
Yeah.
All right, we have a bunch to get to tomorrow. We will. We're going to pack it up here. Thanks to the Cowboys, by the way, and what did you call this, Paul? The buildings that are on?
It's built on hype and lies.
Hype and lies. But thank you to them. It was great to see Mickey Spagnola, some of the media members up here, too. I'm David Smoak for Paul and for Craig, for Faith and for Garrett and Emery. Whatever's left of him mentally right now. Good night from Frisco, Texas on 365 Sports.